many of these people used to rubbish me of being on social media? Just check. All the vice chancellors are there.
But in the beginning...
Yeah, it was like, it's my problem. They are all on Twitter. All of them. At vets, when we argue, there's blood on the floor.
Ooh.
At UCT, there's no blood. There's internal bleeding.
Oh, no.
Die without notice.
Jeez. That sounds drastic.
It doesn't feel like an old car.
It was normal.
King David Studio podcast.
Well, I'm Mamokgethi Phakeng. I'm the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Town. You know, some people get surprised actually that I still write on my signature that I'm Professor of Mathematics Education. The bottom line is I am. Okay, so here's the thing, just in case you didn't know. I hold 2 positions at UCT.
Yeah.
The one position is that I'm a full professor of mathematics education, which means I'm an academic.
Yes.
That's a permanent position. I've got the position, and I am a rated scientist. I'm a B1 rated scientist.
Yes, I saw that. What is a B1 rated
which expire?
scientist?
We'll talk about that.
Yes.
Which these ratings expire. My they expire every 5 years.
Yeah.
My rating is still valid until 2023. No. I'm just, there was a controversy somewhere and people are writing on Twitter, why is she writing on her signature that she's professor? Who is she teaching? Hey guys, it's not about who you're teaching. It's the position you are appointed to. Mm-hmm. So that's the one position I'm appointed to.
Yeah.
The second position I'm appointed to is Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Town. That's a contract position. That's a 5-year contract. Okay. And the contract will expire. And I can make myself available for a second term. Yes. Can be considered. And it will go through processes whether I get it or not. I still have the full-time permanent position, which I can stay until I retire.
Yes, your professorship.
I'm a professor. Yes, my professorship is until I retire. I can stay there until 65.
You can, actually.
Yeah, so young people who are misinformed or don't understand, just say these things, they're embarrassing themselves.
Why is she?
Yeah, they were saying that. Why is she? She's claiming. Well, no, I'm not claiming. Okay, so that's the 2 positions right now. But otherwise, I'm Mamokgethi Phakeng. I prefer to be called Mamokgethi or Kgethi. I've been a professor for a long time. Yes. So it really doesn't...
You're not attached?
No.
Was there ever a time when you were attached?
Not really. I mean, the thing is that Mamokgethi is quite a special name. It's a traditional name.
By its nature, even the name itself.
Yes, it's a traditional name. So it's not one of those on the shelf at the Pick and Pay, at the supermarket.
Let's not mention examples.
Okay.
But what?
No. My children's names are supermarket.
Really?
My son's got a supermarket name.
Example?
Tulufelo is a supermarket.
I like how
so anyone who thinks I'm dissing them, it's my son.
Yes.
I know why he's Tulufelo,
For you, it has a meaning.
It has got a meaning. But what I'm saying is that you pick up many Tulufelos wherever you go.
Yeah.
Whereas if I meet a Mamokgethi, I would ask them, where do you come from? Who are your people?
Have you ever met a Mamokgethi?
Once in a while. I mean, when I was before I came into academia in an NGO, there was a Mamokgethi. Okay. And of course, we did discover that there is a connection.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it is traditional. It's not everyone who can be Mamokgethi.
Who are you named after?
Oh, some go-go man. It's not the parents of any of my parents.
Okay.
But it's how the Tswanas, I don't know in other cultures, but in my culture, the Tswana Bakhatla, what they do or used to do is that my dad is Lensui. And he was named after Lensui.
Okay, yeah.
And so his children would take the names of that Lensui, but they start with the last to the first.
Oh, one after another.
Yeah, but you start with the last born and then you go that way. Yes, so I didn't
know that
was the tradition. Yes,
I didn't know that.
So all of us, me and my siblings, have traditional names like that. Of course, my brother took the names of the grandparents, grandfathers from both sides, because that's just how Black people roll.
How big is your immediate family, like your brothers and sisters?
We are born 3, and we've got an adopted brother.
Okay.
Who's younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you make it sound like he's quite young. Is he?
No. We are all old. We are all old professionals doing different things. Yes. Yeah. I mean, everyone's got their own home. Yes. My mother, none of us live at home.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So and everyone, became a professional, did their own things. My brother is at the Gauteng Department of Education.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I hardly ever talk about my brother, which is deliberate. But nevertheless, I think the person that I talk most about, I never talk about my brothers, I talk about my sister.
Why don't you make it so clear don't talk about your brother?
No, I think I also don't talk about my sons a lot.
Yeah.
They must out themselves.
Yes, of course.
Because I think when you have a prominent personality, people suffer for you.
That's true.
And it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't want people. Yes. And the reason I talk about my sister comfortably because we are so identical that actually, even if I don't, she gets discovered.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it the way you look?
The way we look
Really?
very much
Wow.
alike,
Yeah.
and for a long time people struggled to tell us apart.
Wow.
And
it's still the same.
and we are
even
very
now.
good friends, and we are very, very close. So people will find her out. And anyway, I love her a lot. I love her. So
Find
she's
her
like
out.
my
I like
friend.
that.
So
Yeah.
she's like my friend. So people would find out. So people are finding out about my sister because she's my friend. My brothers, I love them, but I really don't think it's necessary for them to suffer for me, the decisions that I make, or carry the burden that my haters decide I must carry.
Are you aware of haters?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has got them. I always say to young people, you always have an auditorium of likers and an auditorium of haters. The problem with haters is that it's a loud auditorium.
That's true.
When you hear them, never think that there are no advocates, there are no people cheering for you. The people who cheer are not always loud, but they are there.
Yes,
and oftentimes, they are more than the ones who are haters. So I know that I have both. I have always had both. But as you advance, the noise of your haters goes high.
Really?
Yeah.
Barry,
You've got to accept. That's what it is.
And using hip-hop language, more money, more problems. So the higher
well, there's no money in this case.
You know what I mean. That's
I know what you mean.
That's why I put a disclaimer. It's a
Yes.
hip-hop reference. More money, more problems.
True.
Take me back to home when you were a young child. Where were you born?
I was born in a place that doesn't exist, but that's a story of all many black people. Yeah, Eastwood.
Oh yes, of course. There used to be Eastwood. They speak about it. I know at my mother's house because they call it Mamelodi.
Yes.
They used to make references to play Eastwood.
Because people from Eastwood were
moved.
they were moved to Mamelodi, Garankuwa, Mabopane. So they know each other, Batuba Eastwood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and then there's also Batuba Selborne. So Mamelodi also has got Selborne, the 3 townships.
Lady Selborne.
Yeah, Lady Selborne.
Phrase. Yes, that word. I've heard it so many times.
So my dad's family came from Lady Selborne. My mom's family came from Eastwood.
Yeah.
So I was born in Eastwood.
Okay, and it's no longer there.
It's no longer there. It's where Garsfontein
now is.
Yeah.
That's amazing how life changes like that.
Yeah.
I was born here, but then there was very little.
But the thing is that many of the things, the areas, the schools that I went to don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And now I'm vice chancellor of a university where people fight for a name change of a building.
Jeez.
And they tell me how their lives are falling apart. And I say, my life fell apart a long time ago. Many times. Because if you think about it, my generation, not only did we live through apartheid, we also had the homeland system.
We did. There was all that separation.
They changed names, they introduced new things, they changed schools, they changed whatever. And then after that we had democracy, and then changed names, changed schools, changed whatever. So my university doesn't exist.
You went to
Unibo for undergrad.
Yes, you went.
It doesn't exist.
That's so crazy.
You
know
what I mean?
Born doesn't exist.
Where I was born doesn't exist. I went to 8 different schools for my 12 years of basic education, and many of them don't exist.
Why so much movement?
It was different reasons. Some of it because of the socioeconomic status of family. Poverty made you move that way as parents made decisions.
Yeah.
Some of it because of the change in politics, and some of it because parents thought this would be a better school. Of course, my mother says to me now that we were making sure that you run away, we take you away from township boys. And so she says she thought township boys will get me when they took me to Hebron.
Oh yeah, you went to Hebron.
So I went to Hebron for matric.
Okay.
And I'm like, come on. I mean, the township boys were at Hebron too.
Yeah,
she thought I'll get the good ones or rural ones. They're everywhere.
You can't run away from township
You can't,
boys.
yeah.
So
it was many different decisions. So some of when Buputatswana came in, they introduced middle schools.
Oh yes, of course.
So suddenly you had to change school. There were many different reasons.
And at home, when you were born, what type of setup was it? Where are you in the pecking order?
I'm the middle child.
Are you a typical middle child? And I say this not knowing what is that. What does that mean?
I don't even know what that means. But I've heard that the middle child is the glue that holds the family together. Both sides.
Really?
I think I am.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like it anymore, but I think I am too.
I mean, on a bad day, I keep thinking middle child, and we don't have much age difference between us.
Yeah.
So it's the most is 18 months.
Okay.
So my parents did one after the other.
They needed to finish quickly.
So I keep saying I'm the one who didn't get much attention.
But was it like that?
No, it was. Because if you think about it, I mean, I came less than 18 months after my brother was born.
Yes.
So he couldn't talk. He was still breastfeeding
of course,
or whatever.
Yes.
Before I could do anything, there was another one. I mean, and then
once you started saying a word or two, there was another one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah. But I was born in Eastwood at the Roman Catholic clinic.
Okay.
On All Saints Day, on the 1st of November.
Wow.
Of course, I mean, we are not Catholic.
Yes.
But because I was born at the Roman Catholic clinic, it was momentous.
That the moment
for the nuns.
Okay.
Because my mother says it was the nuns who were delivering the baby. And
you were brought to this world by nuns.
By nuns, yes. And then I came in a sack.
Listen to that.
Yes, so I'm a cow baby. Yeah.
You're almost baby Jesus. Actually, was baby Jesus in a sack? No, it's Moses that was in a sack floating in the sea, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and I didn't know this until on my 40th birthday. I had never had a birthday, but when I turned 40, I had a PhD, I was a professor, and and I was a model kid. I was.
You've done all the right things.
Done all the right things. I mean, I really, really think many girls in my township had a hard time. I mean, coming to think of it, I think many parents kept saying, "You must be like her." And I thought, I'm 40, and it's been such a blessed life. So I thought, let me do a 40th.
So you threw a big celebration.
Not big.
But sizable.
60 people, it was at home. No, that's 60 people.
2 cows.
No, there was no cow. Nothing slaughtered,
So I'm sure
just the caterer who brought things and cooked.
Well, I'm sure something was slaughtered, just not at your house. But it's okay. It was slaughtered somewhere.
True.
And it was broadly ready.
Yeah. And it was on that day when my mother gave a speech on my 40th birthday.
Do you remember what she spoke of?
Yeah, no, she told the story. She started by saying, this is a special baby. Yeah. And I have always known that. Mamokgethi is a special baby.
Oh, she told the nun story.
Yeah, at the birthday party. I had never heard it. She said she told this nun story, the first, and what happened, and she said, I have always known she's going to be okay. The nuns stopped. She was the only baby born in the clinic on that day. Yeah. The nuns stopped, circled around her. Wow. They prayed, and they told her she's going to be fine.
That's amazing.
Don't worry, she's going to be great.
You make me want to rewind my life.
No, but I thought she cheated. I thought if she told me at 15, I wouldn't have sweated this much.
You would have known.
Of course. I mean, even if whatever I would have been, it would have been fine, and I would have made it big, Yes. So I didn't know that story. And she said, "Sy was in die sak gebore."
So she still has that Afrikaans, eh?
No, old people. Yeah. Yes. So she said, she was born in a sack. She was in die sak gebore.
She went to school after she gave. She did the most amazing thing.
She did.
She delivered all of you.
Yes.
and decided to go back to school.
Well, first she said yes to a man.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Tell me about that moment. You were too young to know, obviously, but I'm sure it's stories that were spoken about in the family.
Yes, and people, I mean, the house that my mom lives in is the house that she walked out of to go to school in uniform after having children. So the people in Zone 2 in Garankuwa, the women who saw her, who chose not to go to school when who laughed at her, they tell the stories. I mean, when she graduated, she's the only one who had a party. My dad threw a party for her.
She was that excited. He was that excited.
Because she's the only one who my dad felt deserves a party.
Yeah.
And there were women in the area who came and they gave speeches that we used to laugh at her.
And
what's gone into her? She's going to school with little children, wearing uniform with 3 children, and so on. And now, then she ended up being a teacher, and one of them said, I'm cleaner. I'm a cleaner.
I should have followed her.
Yeah, I'm a cleaner at Medunsa, and she's a teacher.
That's amazing.
We washed her and so on. So it is extraordinary.
Did she say why? What motivated that decision?
It was my dad.
Yeah.
It was my dad is the one who encouraged her to go to school.
Yeah.
My dad was believed in education. I mean, probably many black men were angry generally. He was funny. He was on radio.
Really?
Yeah, my dad was on Radio Setswana.
Wow.
He was one of the first people. I mean, if you get one of those Radio Setswana, Radio Bantu. Radio Bantu.
That's what it was.
Yeah. It started. So he was there when it was Radio Bantu. He was there when it became Radio Setswana. Then it changed to Radio Tswana.
Yes.
Yeah, he left. He wasn't there when it was Motswedi.
Yes, of course, I was there. Motswedi is relatively, it's a long time ago, but it's relatively recent.
Yes. So he was there with the densities, with
all those.
Maiketo Mautwes and whatever.
Man, you mentioned
old. They used to do posters of all of their faces.
Yes.
Yeah. My dad's face is still there. And some of the people who came on TV, who were reading news, were hired whilst he was there. It's like the young guys. I'm trying to remember the names. So actually vinyls. We have a lot of vinyls. Because my dad.
If you don't know what to do with them, I'm a collector. I can come and go through them, and I'll be more than happy to take some of them off your hands. Because
I think my sister has repossessed them. I'll ask her what she does with them. But he was an announcer. He's been he did ads on radio.
Because of
he
the
was
voice.
An actor. He was also an actor. On radio, you remember there was story time, 15 minutes. There were dramas that were 30 minutes, and there were 15 minutes that were stories. So he was acting on radio, and then he became a program compiler, and then he was a music compiler.
Yes. So
the radio, the record companies used to give her the new material when it came.
Of course,
Yes, Weya Records, Galo Records. Sometimes they would launch this music at home.
On
Mahotela Queens, we knew the Mahotela Queens. Yes, and then even Lucky Dube, before he became Lucky Dube, he used to go by some other name.
I'm not even sure.
And then there was someone with somebody and the Katanga Boys.
Yes.
They were, all these, the Jamaican music, Jimmy Cleave.
You were quite exposed to this.
Yes, my dad would play it on high. So you just, and actually, coming to think of it, we could have been anything, because
I'm about to say, I don't know how so much academia has happened in that environment.
He was the one who pushed academia.
Yeah.
And there were people, because at that time there were no TVs. So the celebrities were people who acted on radio. So there were people who could come from Botswana looking for Franklin Mutlana. They would look. People would come from Krugersdorp. There would be people coming because he was funny. He was really a great guy.
He sounds like he was larger than life character.
He was small, but God gives you other things,
of
right?
Course.
So he
gives you size in other ways.
Yes, so he was very entertaining and a firm believer in education.
Yeah,
and he used to say, there's things that still sit with me today.
Give me one example.
One is you must be an arrogant poor man. He used to say, "Naki mudidi oi khantsang."
Yeah.
He says, it doesn't matter how poor you are. You must never, ever, ever grab crumbs from other people. Yeah. You'd rather die of hunger.
Jeez.
And then he would say, I have no money. I have nothing. The only thing I'm going to give you is education. So in this house, everyone is going to university. That was the rule. He never believed in anything. He didn't believe college or technicon will give you anything. He said, each and every one of you
has to have a degree.
Yeah. And he used to we went to Radio Setswana. I remember, there were these...
where was it then?
Sunnyside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sunnyside.
I didn't even know, because I remember the SABC, the one in thingy, when it was SABC in Silverton.
Yes, they moved from Sunnyside
to Silverton.
I
didn't even know there was ever a Sunnyside.
There was a Sunnyside. Yes. Yeah, so he used to take us on Saturday to Sunnyside when we were little. During holidays, there was a program for children starting at 9, whatever.
Wow.
And it was done by some woman, I can't remember her name.
So you were there to learn as well.
We spoke on radio.
Oh.
We spoke on radio.
So you've had the microphone quite early on in your life.
Yes, we would sit. That woman would put us on the lap. He would, when we go during the holidays, we go with him to work. He would introduce us to people. And my dad, the other thing he used to do, he believed so much in education. He had so many ways of making us get into it. He did this, right? He would tell everyone that we are the smartest kid. He's never seen anyone
as smart as his children. Yeah.
And then he used to drink, right? So when they're sitting, drinking, friends visiting, he would call us. Me and my sister, as I say, we grew up like twins.
Yes.
So he would my brother, during 70s, when they protested, he was taken to the rural areas.
Oh, really?
Yes. So he went to my paternal grandparents. Okay. So my sister and I would be standing there, he would call us, and they are drinking with friends, and the table is full of people. And
so he was showing off?
Yeah, and he would say, ask them anything. Would be sitting there like...
So much work. Ask them anything.
Yeah. And... And of course, I say to my sister, I saved her.
Yeah.
Because there's something that people don't know. But I actually like being good. Yeah. I actually like winning.
Oh, jeez. You have that character.
I am that character. I have to win.
Every time.
You
know number one class.
I'm not sure. I can't remember that I was necessarily the smartest. They say I was the smartest, but I don't. There were other smart kids.
Yeah.
But we'd sit there, and of course they were not educated people. So every question they asked was a problem-solving question.
Okay.
So sometimes it would be number patterns, or it would be matchsticks.
Okay.
They do whatever, or it would be the questions that come in the crossword puzzles. We got them right
every time. Wow.
And one day, my sister said, the only thing we can do for him to never call us is to get it wrong. So please.
Let's get one wrong.
We have to get it wrong. The next time he calls us, we get it wrong. I said, yeah.
And what happened?
Next time they called us, I could not afford to do that.
So you gave the correct answer?
I gave the correct answer.
Oh,
I couldn't because I wanted to live to my dad's description of being smart. Because I thought if you get it wrong, his theorem is disproven. You can't be smart. You can't do this.
No, yes.
And then all his friends will diss him, and then he would never say, but he drummed it into us that we are smart.
Yeah.
I believed that I was smart. So when you fail at school or you don't do something right, I didn't think there was something wrong with there. I thought there was something wrong with because I am smart.
You have to go and study.
I'm supposed to get this thing right.
Then it speaks to influence on children from that early age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It speaks quite importantly to that process of what you say to them.
It does.
Yes.
You are making them domkop. Yeah. Why do you expect them to be smart? And frankly speaking, he didn't tell us. He didn't always tell us that you asked. So he told other people, and we had him
tell other people,
boasting to other people that we are smart.
Jeez.
And so the pressure was to live up to
his expectations.
And I can imagine if you tell children that you are smart, they can do something to disprove you.
Of course, yeah.
But because he's telling other people, and frankly, I really wanted to live up to that.
Yeah.
And so I always believed that I can do this.
You sound like you're an absolute fan of your dad's legacy.
I am. But of course, there's other things that disappoint me.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sad that he's not here.
Of course.
He could have been.
How long did he live for?
He died in
Is it
1998.
Oh, it's quite a while.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. And he could have lived. I mean, he just drank too much.
Oh, yes.
But here's the thing. I mean, this is the celebrity thing.
Nele celebrity.
So all the gifts that he got
Oh,
were
no.
alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they offer a bottle of gin or whatever bottle.
Yes. So my dad got all the gifts. I don't remember. I mean, there was a watch once in a while, whatever, but they were alcohol, like top class stuff. He never drank. At some stage when he was young, we were young. He drank. Then it's one of those guys who drank only on Christmas,
Once a year.
And then they drink only on weekends.
Oh, no.
And then they drink only month end. And then they drink every day. And then they can't function without drinking.
Ooh. And a functioning alcoholic is the worst thing you can ever be.
Yeah. So David, when I say I hate alcohol,
you saw it like that.
At the same time, I don't think that happens with all the children of parents who drank, because my siblings do drink. My sister drinks wine here and there.
Yeah.
They're not drunkards. They drink. I will not put a champagne on my.
Jeez, really?
I will not. No.
How destructive?
I've never.
How destructive was he in that? In your recollection?
No, he wasn't destructive to other people. I think it's self-destruction.
Oh, that's what you saw.
Yeah, that's what I saw. And there was a time when, I can tell you how his eyes changed.
Ooh.
They became gray. How
and how he aged as well. I guess.
He aged. How because he was so smart, it was such a great guy that at some stage you knew if you want him to come and resolve problems, like married, your husband is giving problems, you want him to, you've got to give him only one beer.
Really?
He can't have more.
It got to that.
Yeah, can't have more because he's gonna unravel the whole thing, or everyone will be fine.
Jeez.
Or this family needs whatever, he can't have more. Just 1-2 beers.
He'll be all right.
Just so that he's not shaking.
No, so he got to that point where he really depended on
he
it.
deteriorated. Alcohol is cruel. I'm sorry.
You've seen it.
Yeah, at the moment, I think I'm a little better. I don't drink, but I keep wine at the house because of the people who visit.
True.
But frankly speaking, I even forget when to take it out. I have no idea.
So guests will come, and then you'll forget.
Yes, unless someone asks.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, or people bring it. I don't even remember when do you. I don't even know wine.
Yes.
When do you pour it?
How do you do it? Do you gaggle? They spin.
Yeah, so I don't.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually last year someone invited me to do a show on TV.
Yeah.
And I said yes. They described, I won't say who they were, they described And then because I'm busy and whatever, and when I had time, I decided to read this thing. It was a few weeks before it started. I read this. Then I realized it was sponsored by an alcohol brand.
Yes.
And then I said no.
Oh, geez, you take it. You go that far.
Well, I mean, I read the fine print, right? And what put me off was the fact that whilst the show is going on, this brand will have their their logo. Their logo on at the bottom.
They will strap it with they
had written. You read that fine print that nobody reads. I read that because I saw the sponsor and I thought, I mean, if they're just sponsoring, it's fine. But then
if their logo appears next to you.
Yeah, but I'm promoting them.
Yeah, that's
Then
true.
I thought, no, man. I mean, at the same time, I thought, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do it.
It's neither here nor there. Yeah.
They needed, and of course I had said to them they should donate to my scholarship because I've got a scholarship, and when I do these things,
there has to be something at least.
And they had agreed, and I said no. I mean, what is these thousands I can always
and how did it affect other children in the family, particularly your mom? Actually, how did it affect your mom? Your dad's drinking.
I mean, my mother has been a committed wife forever.
Jeez.
I mean, I asked my mother at some stage. I think it's after my dad passed on. Like, how could you stay? I would never have stayed.
Wow.
No, David, I don't want to lie.
You wouldn't have done it.
No.
It was.
I think, and my mother said, how could I leave? This is my husband.
That's amazing.
They went everywhere together, funerals. They didn't have a car. They would leave on Friday, maybe.
Oh, those types, yes.
And then when they come back on Sunday, he'd be drunk and he'll be there. She'll be there with her man.
That's amazing.
Hand in hand.
It's a different type of woman, though. And I say this in terms of era.
Yeah.
Because it seems like there was an era of those type of women who saw the world that way.
But I don't think it's only seeing the world that way. It's that my dad made her.
Oh, yeah. So
she was a domestic worker.
Yeah.
When they met. I mean, my dad was a catch. He was good looking.
He was famous.
Had a good job.
Yes.
He wasn't famous then, but he had a good job.
Yeah.
He, you know.
Oh, yeah, when they met. Yeah, of course.
I don't know whether he was a court interpreter before he went into radio. But
he was an educated guy.
No. He didn't have matric.
Then how the hell did he...
He was smart.
No wonder you insisted on you guys being smart.
Yeah, he was smart. He didn't have matric, but he went to high school. And some of the people, of course, you know, St. Peter's, whatever, people who went to Selborne will talk about St. Peter's.
Yeah.
He went to St. Peter's and even though he didn't do matric, he was smart.
Yeah.
And so he at that time, I guess, if you could do the job, that was good enough.
Of course, yes.
He could express himself. When he worked at the SABC, he was very angry. He was angry. I mean, there was a part of him that was angry because he would say he knows how to do the thing and he knows that he will never be promoted. He'll never
he doesn't have the education.
Yeah, and but at that time he was apartheid. He said, and that was the thing that he also used to encourage us to go to university. And he said, I know that these young boys come and he says, I've got so and so. His boss was Van der Merwe. He says, Van der Merwe just brought this one guy, Kobos. Now I must teach him to do this. And Kobos just now I'll be reporting to Kobos.
Yeah.
You see, so that kind of thing used to make him angry. I mean, I always say the first English word that I knew and he used to say over and over, propaganda was the thing that he said.
It was his word.
Yeah. Anything on the news, propaganda, whatever. He hated
because he was a part of it because they were told what to say and do. Yes.
But at the same time, he hated Bob. He hated Bob, Radio Bob. He hated the homeland system. We never listened to Radio Bob at home.
Really?
We listened to it when we went to varsity.
Of course, because you would now catch better sounding radio.
When he listened to Radio Bob, my dad would switch it on, listen with a book and a pen, and he would write their mistakes. You know, when you talked about, when you interviewed Chile M.
Yes. We had a chat about that.
Yeah, my dad used to do that. My dad would record all their mistakes, what they shouldn't be doing, what is it that they're doing, and then he would say, nonsense.
He listens to radio like me. I struggle to listen to radio. When I drive, I listen to audiobooks or music. I can't listen to radio presenters.
Because you have a red pen.
Yeah, and I have a red pen for myself as well. Because, you know, if you've done it for as long as I have, you kind of check yourself out as well. Yeah. And you know, I could have done that better. So it's worse when you're listening to others. Like, this is too much.
But it also came from a place of hatred of the homeland system.
That too.
And then they were a competitor because suddenly black people could listen to that.
Yes.
You know, so the SABC radio stations were losing listenership to them.
Do you know, you being here, it sounds like I'm talking to someone who's done radio. It's the most amazing thing because so many of them are set there.
Yeah.
And the way you make reference to old school radio is like you've done it, and all you did was just you saw it.
Yes, I saw it. and he would tell us it feeds you. Radio Setswana feeds you. So we had to listen to it. He took loans. I went to varsity, to boarding school in Hebron.
Yes.
My brother also went there. So
that was high school.
High school. Yeah. Well, it was a college, and we were the last group of high school.
Okay.
Hebron, there was a time when it had both.
The transition.
Yeah, it had, for many years it had both high school and college.
Okay.
And then when we came in, we were the last group of doing grade 11 and then grade 12, standard 9 and then
standard 10, yeah.
And then it stopped. So we were the last group of standard 10.
So we can question your Twitter and one black Twitter. We can question your metric or as your college.
No, not really. Because we wrote the same.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm becoming black Twitter.
Yes,
even when it's not necessary.
I know.
You know them too well.
Yeah. So, but he had taken a loan from the SABC. I remember when I went to Hebron, he gave me a check from the SABC of 500 rands. It was a loan my brother had. You paid the 500 rands. It got you uniforms, books, everything for the whole year, and so on. And then when we got to university, and they deduct from his salary,
of course,
every month.
Yes.
When we went to university, my brother had, and then when I came, I also had a loan, a loan, and they deduct. I think when I was at varsity, I think my dad was getting 0 net.
Because
my sister, remember that the age group
is so tiny.
So tiny.
Yeah,
so I was immediately after my brother. My sister, there was a 1 year gap or 2 year. My sister had to repeat matric because the first time she passed, but not good enough for university.
Oh no.
My sister, my younger sister and my adopted brother, they're the two who had to repeat. Not because they failed, because it wasn't good enough for university.
And daddy said never.
Said never. They said, remarking. He said, no remarking here. You go back. And and then there was a thing about, matric rewrite. He says, nothing. You are going to do from January to December. You must write it properly and get proper results and go to university.
It was a tough day.
Yeah.
When it comes to education, he didn't care.
He didn't care. But it was good for us. All of us are graduates. All of us are professionals. All of us are fine.
Yes. It paid off in the end.
It paid off.
Did he? And he lived long enough to see the fruits of that labor.
A bit. He could have seen more.
Yeah.
Yes. Given that my mom is still alive and my mom still sees, he could have still been alive now and seeing more.
Yeah.
He saw me up to a master's. He didn't see.
He didn't see your doctorate.
When he died, I was doing my first year doctorate.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He could have.
And frankly speaking, people think I was the smart one. Everyone expected me to be professor. No. So
Why do you say immediately no?
No, because I didn't even talk about my doctor. My brother was the smart one.
Really?
Yes. I mean, and here's the thing again about raising children. People ask me, how did I get into mathematics?
Yeah.
Right? When it's so hard, whatever. There was never a word said about mathematics at home. Mathematics being hard, this subject being easy, whatever. The only thing that was said is you must pass all of them.
And
you
pass
must
them
be
well.
excellent in all of them. So we didn't even know that our brother didn't do maths. Until he got to university.
It's like, I can't do it.
My sister and I, all of us below him, all three of us did math and science. We're like, wow, the smart one is the one who didn't do math.
Was it insisted upon you to do maths?
No.
It was a decision you took.
It was a decision that I took. Yeah, it was a decision that I took. I mean, it was a cop-out, man. Everything else was too difficult.
Really? I can't believe that's what
you say. Seriously.
Everything else was too difficult. And mathematics was not?
I mean, those dates in history. And remembering the Jan van Riebeck sheeps.
I can remember them now.
I can't, man. The dates, I always got them wrong.
I cannot believe you're here saying to me everything else was hard.
Everything
except
was
maths.
Hard. Yes.
When I was the maths was always the toughest.
You see, with maths, you could make sense. Even at the time when the penny hadn't dropped completely. I still felt that was the best place.
You could figure it out.
Yeah, because, with biology, they would give you a skull and then you must say this bone is this, where the,
and you thought that was...
You must memorize that.
And this stuff is hard.
Because you must commit them to memory, you see. And then history, you must commit them to memory. Geography, everything you had to commit to memory. And you have to commit everything to memory.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? In mathematics, of course, there are certain things that you have to commit to memory.
You have to kind of understand.
Yeah, there are things that you commit to memory. But there's a lot that you don't need memory for. You apply the few things that you have in memory.
Yeah. It's like knowing your way to somewhere. And you can figure it out.
A broad idea.
Yeah.
You've got let me say a big idea. You've got the big idea and then everything else you figure out. Everything else you've got to think.
You know, the parents...
You don't do that with history. You can't reconstruct the French Revolution.
You have to tell it the way it was.
Exactly.
So the way you were told.
Yes.
That's amazing. You know, the parents who are going to watch this and says, what you're saying, we don't agree with. Maths was hard.
No, but they have to believe me because it's the big ideas.
Yeah.
You get the big idea, you can piece it together. You get a theorem. Everything they ask you in geometry, you are applying the theorem. You don't have to memorize it.
That's incredible. Now, let me tell you, I did not like mathematics. I did it. I did standard grades.
Please tell me that's the last time you say that.
No. Well, I'm reflecting on my life. I have to tell you what happened. There were kids that were much better than us, and they made us feel like they were much better than us. And as a result, we felt quite inferior. And it became, I can't even say love-hate. It became a hate-hate relationship we had with mathematics.
I think I was fortunate because, frankly speaking, I didn't even know that maths is hard.
That's amazing.
I didn't know that it is special to be good at maths. I didn't know until I got to university. And of course, when you do first year, the class is full, it's large, you are in the auditorium.
It gets smaller.
And then it gets smaller.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it was a 4-year degree in Unibo, and I was a maths major. When we did maths 3, it was 2 of us girls.
What?
And 9 boys.
And when you started, there was so many.
And then, of course, they know whoever continues with maths beyond second year, the university, like, because it was Unibo, I mean, there's no maths, there's no actuarial science, whatever.
Yeah, just stop at home.
Yeah, the maths people are the ones, like, it means you are it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when I realized
you were the best, the most special student.
Then you realize that you asked, but actually I had been failing other things. First year I failed chemistry.
Yes, but maths you passed.
If you look at my transcript, maths is the highest throughout the years. I changed in first year. I failed chemistry. I was doing 5 courses. Failed chemistry, I failed biology. And my parents had told me, this is a 4-year degree. You do it in 4 years, not more. This is it.
So you had to work hard.
You get pregnant, you come and stay at home.
Jeez.
This is the end of it. And you're going to have to look for a job. All right. 4 years, then no more, because we really can't. They give you 50 rand when you go to school.
Yeah, beginning of the year.
Yes, Easter time you must come. The same 50 rand must bring you back. And then they say, you are eating at dining hall.
Yes,
You've got clothes. What's your problem?
So the 50 rand is to help when you need something extra.
Yes, and then you must catch a charter and come home.
Yeah.
And then you go back. But I failed these 2. So I realized, I did a calculation. First semester, I failed these 2. If I were to continue with them, I would have taken an extra year.
Then what decision did you make?
I didn't need 2 of them, but I needed one of them to be a major. One of them could be an elective. I could drop it after second year.
Okay.
I went to the counseling center and I asked them,
what do we do here?
I like maths. I don't like these things. Because I actually sat with myself to ask myself, why did I fail these things? Because I didn't party.
You didn't like them?
I didn't party. I just didn't spend time on them.
Yeah.
Why did I spend time on them? Because I didn't really enjoy them. I didn't like them. They didn't, I spent time doing maths and other things. Education I passed, special English I passed. So they said, if you want to graduate in 4 years and you want to do this, it won't happen. You're going to have to do 5 years. I said, no, 4 years. They said, then think about what you can do. These are the other courses you can do. If there's any other course that you think you can carry 2 of different years in one semester.
Okay.
Then I replaced chemistry and chemistry and biology. I replaced them with psychology and Setswana.
Because you knew these ones.
No. My idea was I'm not going to major in psychology.
Oh, yes.
Psychology, I'm going to drop it after second year.
Yeah.
Because I think I needed it for 2 years or 4 years. I can't remember.
Okay.
And then Setswana, I'm like, Setswana. Then I thought, but it was rough.
Oh, born.
It was rough, right? So I decided to take Setswana. But it was the best decision ever.
Why?
And then, of course, they said to me, if you take that, if you are not doing chemistry and biology, you can't continue with the BSc. It has to be a BA. Education.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. So then I ended up with a BA education majoring in mathematics. I became the only student ever
with the BA majoring in mathematics.
Majoring in mathematics. So and in my maths class, I was the only one who comes from the other side, Everyone either came from chemistry, physics, or biology.
Okay.
I came from Setswana. It's my other major, and the course code for Setswana was SET.
Yes.
SETS. So they used to laugh at me. So you're doing sets, like sets in maths.
Yeah, I know how they.
Yeah, I didn't care. I just thought, I want my degree. I'm here for maths.
And I have 4 years.
Yeah. For Setswana, you had to read 10 books per semester. Wow. 10. Hey, I swatted them. I read.
Did you ever regret that decision at any point?
Because my if you've checked, you'll know that my research that I did.
Your very early work, yes.
Even in my doctorate, now, the work that I'm known for all over the world as a scholar is the relationship between mathematics and language.
Yeah.
Nobody has studied language and mathematics.
So I studied African.
I didn't study discourse analysis or whatever, but I read it as I was doing my PhD. But it wasn't like I'm a stranger to linguistics or whatever. So it's unique. It sets me apart.
What can you tell us? And we are here in this point where you have done this extensive research on these two seemingly unrelated subjects. From a distance, what can you tell us about their relationship in a few words?
Yeah, well, you see, mathematics is like a language.
Yeah.
Because when you learn mathematics, you don't learn problems or manipulating numbers. You learn a way of communicating.
Okay. Yes.
And so one can say, there's a title of a book that says mathematics, I speak it fluently. So you can present an argument in mathematics. The Minister of Finance does that all the time. Yes. Newspapers do that all the time. You can
Scientists do that all the time.
Scientists do that all the time. Even reporters, journalists can do that because they can present information in the mathematical way of doing it, being to sway your thinking in one way. It's like if I say to you, only 3% of the workers went on strike. It's like, what is 3%?
It's not so much.
It's different if I say to you 400,000.
The number tells you a different picture.
So the decision that I'm making about the mathematical representation is not trivial. It's meant to make you believe a particular narrative. If I want you to think the strike was immaterial, I'll say 3%.
All of COVID's reporting is mathematical language. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All of it, from beginning, even tomorrow, even today.
Absolutely, it is. So people do engage in when you take your cell phone contract, it's mathematics. When you buy furniture, you buy a car, you decide what you buy on cash, what you not.
Yes.
All of that is somehow, if you don't think you're doing mathematics, don't worry, someone is doing it for you.
Yes. And
someone is making the decision.
Absolutely.
And that's okay if that's what you want.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you use your Rosina name at all? Ever?
I don't. It's my slave name.
I realized that you don't even make reference to it at all. Remember when we started, I said, you do the introduction. I wanted to see if you'll touch on it at all. You didn't even bring it up.
No, I don't. But interestingly, at boarding school, when I was at Hebron, they used to call me Maros.
Oh, from it, obviously.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with the fact that when I came in, there was a girl who was a matriculant who had just left, who was larger than life.
Oh.
Go hostel.
With the same name?
Yeah, at the hostel. With the same name, Rosina, and she went by Maros.
Oh.
So I came in and they were like, Maros is back.
Did you live up to her larger than life?
I don't know, but I didn't query it because there was treatment for Misela.
Oh.
So that sort of won me a few favors from people.
For being Maros.
Because
that's amazing.
Because then the people, at hostel, I don't know if kids still do it, but there would be their relationships.
Yes,
there's the mama, the dada,
darling, I know that.
What.
You have a relationship with an older one.
No, sometimes it's not even older, but it's someone, while you are at Msela, the mama will take care of you.
Yes.
But there's also darlings. I mean, there were relationships like those. I had a sweetheart, I had a darling, and the sweetheart, one of us took the male role.
Okay, really?
So whoever is my dibaba would call that one daddy.
Wow.
My didada, whatever. It was crazy. Just crazy. But
amazing.
So Maros had people who were her dibabas and whatever.
And they were still there when she left.
So because they were doing standard 9 when she left. Now they're doing standard 10.
So you were well received.
So then they automatically now call me their mama because now I'm Maros. And then now they take care of me. So you get a little softer treatment. So I went by Maros for 2 years. Nobody at home called me Rosina. Nobody. It was only at Hebron. So if I meet people calling Maros, I know
exactly
it's the people from Hebron.
Do you still have a connection with any of those?
Yes. It's my best friend, Cecilia Matla.
She's from that time.
We were best friends. She's from that time.
That's amazing.
And she's in Northwest, and she's a teacher. She stayed on in the college. Some of the students stayed on to do teaching, and she's one of those.
Do you know? I look at your profile and your academic achievement. They are. And I'll use this word very carefully. There is embarrassingly so much.
Really?
Yes. And I use that phrase.
Thank you.
Was there a time where you felt, man, it's enough? What kept you wanting to do more and more and more academically?
You know, it's not like doing more and more and more. I mean, there's two things. I wanted to be an academic.
Yeah.
Of course, I started as a teacher, went into NGO and went into academia. But when I went into academia, I thought I want to be the best academic, right? And then, of course, I discovered that I don't look too bad. And here's the point.
Yes.
I realized that when you're a woman and you don't look too bad, people assume that actually you didn't work for the stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a burden.
Oh, yeah. For me, I mean, I think some people just want to use it. I figured whilst I was an academic, I started my academic career at Vets after being in the NGO world.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I became a professor and I don't have everything, people are just going to say I slept my way through.
How did she get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone said to me, my mentor said to me, you can be anything in academia. There are no rules here. You do any research that you want. You can be whatever. Then I figured, actually, I can do this. So I decided, whilst I was doing my PhD, there were other people I was doing PhDs with. But I started my PhD. I joined, I actually resigned. I was in the NGO world. I was working for Center for Community Development.
Okay.
I asked for leave without pay to start my PhD in 1998.
Yeah. That's a bold decision, though.
Bold decision.
Yeah.
And I did that because my supervisor, who became my mentor, offered me a position as a research assistant.
Okay. Well, I can do this. And you would get paid a little bit.
Paid a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's much lower than your salary.
Of course. Yeah.
So I was a research assistant. There's no funding. So she had some funding from the NRF. She encouraged me. I applied for a Melon grant. I got the grant. I remember her putting together. And she said, we can have some salary. Do you think you can survive on this?
Yes.
Yeah. She said, you see, and then I applied she encouraged me to apply for a Presidential Education Initiative grant.
Okay.
Mandela was new, after 97, they advertised this grants. You could get 100,000 to do research in education in areas that can assist, whatever. And that's when I started with teaching and learning mathematics in multilingual classrooms.
Yeah.
So I had this 100,000 to start. She said to me, she gave me a best strategy. She said, you can use this to start your PhD, collect your data, take leave without pay. That year, you collect your data. In the afternoons, you come and work as a research assistant. You earn this much. I was driving an Opel Kadett.
I remember them well.
It was paid up.
Yes. From those efforts?
No. Before. It was an old car.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't owe a car. Yes. We didn't have a house.
Yeah.
We were renting.
Jeez.
So I just scaled down. I stopped friendshipping with people because my friends, I had a master's degree, friends.
Yeah, they're working, they're earning.
They're doctors,
that's true.
It's too much. So I really scaled down on my lifestyle. Yeah. And I went into became a research assistant
What did she see in you that she encouraged so much?
It's because when I finished my master's, she was my supervisor. And she might have spotted me whilst I was doing an honors. And when I started my master's, she actually said to me she'd be interested in supervising me for my master's research.
So she even picked you?
Yeah, well, I don't know whether, at university we do that.
Yeah.
You eye students. You can eye them from when they're doing final year undergrad. You encourage them to come and do honors. You even pay for them.
Wow.
Yes. When you have a good student, when they're doing honors and you spot them, you say, David, I want to work with you in your master's. I have a scholarship for you. I'll give you a stipend.
What is the bigger benefit of those efforts in
for a student or for a professor?
For both the professor, the student, and maybe for society as well.
Okay, for the professor is that you have capacity because we've got big research projects. You need capacity. You can't hire people.
Hands.
You need the hands.
Yeah.
And the students, postgraduate students, are the best hands.
Yeah.
And they can work on their research whilst the bit of that research forms part of the bigger project that you are leading.
Yeah. Whatever corner they're holding, you need it for what you're doing.
Yes, and then a few of them are holding other corners. You have the center. The benefit for them is that they join a group. They've got they get funding, they get whatever,
and a great reference as well.
A great reference, but also a trajectory. I mean, the person who supervises you promotes you. I mean, in the US we call them promoters. They promote your career. They tell people about you. They connect you. So your career actually grows.
Yes, and probably faster than if you had gone on it on your own.
On your own, And for societies that you do research, it's the research that you do. And if you've got a good supervisor, you even get to publish, and you get. I mean, I was very lucky with this woman.
Yes.
Jill Adler, introduced me to academia.
So she's really what put fire behind what you've done.
She did. She had recruited me for the master's. When I submitted my master's research report, and I submitted to her, and she said to me, "So what are you going to do?" And I was working at the NGO.
I recruited already.
Yeah, but softly. And I said to her, I'm going to continue working in the NGO. And she said, but future, your career, what do you see in your future?
I like her.
And I said to her, well, I'll continue working in the NGO, but I want your job. And she said, my job? I said, no, not this one, but your kind of job.
Yes.
And she said, sit down.
What did you see in that type of work?
I think of all the academics who had taught me at honors, because at honors you had many. She was so good at her craft.
Yeah.
And she related with students so well. And this is a white Jewish woman.
Yes.
Related
so well
to
black students.
Yes. And it was the first time at university that someone made me feel I'm smart.
Yes.
You got those things at high school. You slave through your undergrad. Now here I am doing an honors at Vets. And this woman makes me feel like I've got it, man.
Wow.
And I come from a so-called Bundu University.
From Unibo.
Yes. So I used to admire her, and she was friendly, so you could chat to her, and so that's why I felt like if this is what academia is, I could do it.
Yeah.
I had never felt that way throughout my studies as a student. There was never any
of that. Yeah.
I mean, there's a professor who taught me maths at third year, fourth year at Unibo, Professor Mori, who I really liked. Once in a while, invited me for lunch at his house with his wife, whatever. But I never felt I could be a Professor Mori.
Oh, you didn't see your life that way? Yeah,
I didn't think I could be like him. But with Jill, I felt I could be that.
I have a feeling that Jill inspired the academic you've become.
She did. Not only did she do that, she enabled it too.
I make reference to the personality that you also portray in the academic space, because it's fairly casual.
Yes.
It's fairly easygoing. Yeah. It's not as because my reference to a professors in my academic life is that of a very prim and proper, very abrasive, very quick to cut you off. I see that those are my references at university, and that's why even now when I was doing my masters, my supervisor, rough around the edges. He was bully. He was bully to the last day. He made me change my my dissertation. Title literally minutes before I submitted.
But it's not a bad idea.
Well,
I always say to students, your supervisor. By the way, what students don't know.
Yeah.
For masters and doctoral students, if you fail, your supervisor is a failure.
Oh, it's a failure.
Yeah.
That's true.
So when your supervisor is being tough on you, they don't want to fail.
Yes.
And by the way, universities allow you. If you want to submit without your supervisor's permission, you can. You just sign. That I'm submitting without my supervisors.
Yeah.
And the supervisor says, yeah, I'm happy for him to submit. You must know that he's throwing it to the dogs. Yes. If you fail, it's not their problem. If anybody whose students fail, you students might not know. We look at them like, ooh.
They failed.
Good thing.
Yes.
Yeah. If you pass, it's his success.
Wow.
We write your names in our CVs.
See, I wouldn't have known that.
We write master students supervised to completion.
These ones.
We write the names. We write the years. If you get a distinction, we
write the distinction.
We write PhD students. We write.
If it's published, you write it.
If it's different universities, we write the different universities.
So it shows color on your thing.
I don't write publications unless we wrote together.
Oh, yes, of course.
If we write it together, then I'll write it. But when we apply for our rating, which is not compulsory, of course. A rating system is an independent of universities. It's done by the National.
That rating.
Yeah, that one that expires every 5 years.
Yeah, I know that.
So there's a section where you write about the students you supervised, what are they doing, whatever. We boast about you. So I supervised Nancy Chitera for her master's and for her PhD. She's now Dean of Science.
Wow.
At University of blah blah blah.
That's me. Basically, you're saying that's me. Then.
Yes, you are saying you are saying what they did, what their topic was, what you wrote with them, and you write that now they are Dean of Science at University of Malawi. This one is Dean of Head of Department of this at DUT. This one is whatever. You are saying, look at me, because the success of a professor, of an academic, the highest level of success is not just what you do. It's what those you have trained do
as well.
So my mentor, for example, got an A rating.
Because of...
And so I'm happy for her to write. I'm sure she wrote that. I'm one of the people. I'm sure at that time I was dean. I had a C1 or whatever. I got a C1 rating 3 years after my PhD. That's phenomenal.
What is C1 for some
so
of
the
us
ratings
who don't,
are so there's C1, C2, C3. So the ratings are about.
They sound like bra sizes, just for that.
I know, right?
They sound
except
like
the bra sizes will be bigger.
I couldn't help myself. But anyway, carry on.
But C3 is that you are recognized as a researcher. Sort of, you've got recognition. Local. Yes. C2 local. C1 says you've got some international recognition.
Wow.
And then it jumps to B. And then there's B1, B2, B3. B3 says you've got the majority of your reviewers say you've got considerable some of the reviewers say you've got considerable international recognition.
Okay.
B2
I saw
says
there's a B something on
so
your
I have
stuff.
a B1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
My website is old. My website is outdated. My website says I still have a B2. But
that's what I saw.
But I reapplied.
I must admit, I ignored it. It didn't mean anything to me until now. And now I remember I saw that.
So I got a B1 in 2018.
Yeah.
And a B1 is higher. So a B1 says you've got considerable international recognition.
Wow.
And then after that is A1, A2. That means you are a leading figure in your field.
In the space.
Worldwide, global leader.
Wow, you're Albert Einstein.
Yeah. So people keep saying, B1 is, you're a borderline case. If I had time, I would have appealed.
Oh, you could have.
I could have, because they send you feedback.
Okay. How they got to this,
Because they send, you apply, you write the motivation, you submit your papers, they send them to reviewers all over the world. And then the reviewers write, and then you get a review committee that says, look at the review reports and then decide you are this or that. And then they send you a feedback.
Yeah.
And based on the feedback, you can appeal. So I still have my feedback, which is amazing.
You can appeal.
Yeah, and when even my first rating, I wanted to appeal. Of course, I was told that I must chill. No, but it needs time. So this one, the B1, I could have appealed because I wanted an A. That was my dream. But you need time to prepare the document. You must prepare an argument.
Oh, yes. You're not just saying, hey, I'm not happy.
No. Yeah. You must give them two reasons. One reason should be whether you are saying it's on procedural or substantial. And I wanted to argue substantial. because I can see the comments that come from reviewers and so on and so forth. You know, and it's all about the impact, the quality and impact of your work. And the impact of your work in academia is. Are people reading your work? And are they using it?
Are they using it? Are they referencing it?
Are they reference? And by the way, they don't have to like it.
Yes.
They can reference it to disagree with you.
No, but they still reference it.
Yes, it means you are relevant. You see, if it were Twitter, right? Even when Twitter
they retweet.
No. Even if they bash you.
Yeah.
The issue is, what Twitter hasn't realized is that the fact that they are talking about you means that you are relevant enough for someone to pay attention.
That's it. Yeah.
In academia, in your work, if you are useless, we don't even there's no time to argue with you. You are not worth arguing with.
I like that, and it brings me to my next point. Academics can be quite, I don't know, man. Like what's the English word for that?
Arrogance.
There you go. You see, I don't even recognize those words. I was raised so differently.
The professor, my very good friend, I really, really admire Professor Zondi. He was at UP, he's now at UJ.
Okay.
He said, I had never heard someone say it like this.
Yeah.
He says, in academia, we are taught a lot of things, right? Argumentation, there's content, whatever. And they also teach us arrogance. They don't tell you.
It comes in there.
I think some people get it.
Yeah.
And I said to him, come on, Sipamandla, what do you mean? And he says, no, the way they teach you arrogance is when they teach you to argue for your point.
Yes, that is arrogance.
You must never admit that you're wrong. You must always have a point.
And that makes you stand tall.
So academics can say this bent meal is today. They can have a whole argument that it is wrong, it is not good for you.
It's not nutritious.
An equally brilliant argument to say it is nutritious.
Yes. The fire has killed the nutrition.
Exactly.
And then come back and say the fire has enhanced the nutrition.
The same academic can do both sides.
And that breeds arrogance.
I hear Sipamandla said they teach us. I'm not sure if I'm arrogant enough.
But you've met your colleagues.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's embarrassing.
So you see them.
I know. Not all of them.
Yeah.
But I know what you're
So it runs in this space.
Yeah.
There's no one here who can tell me anything.
Yeah, but it's also how they say it.
Yeah.
It's also how they say it. In some universities, of course, are different. I don't know if people outside universities know this. That's, some universities, the liberal universities, they're more conservative. They've got different cultures. Some are more compliant than others. And in many of these liberal universities, when you talk, that's interesting. It means nonsense. People say that's nonsense. They're trying to say it's nonsense. That's very interesting. Tell us more.
Now they come across like they're interested, but not really.
Yeah, but no, not really. Not really.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The difference between the two jobs you've had, two university cultures, Unisa and UCT.
Yeah, but I've also had vets. My longest
your course was at vets, right at the beginning.
Yes. I spent 12 years at vets.
Jeez.
8 years at Unisa.
And then now, this is very little.
Yes.
Immediate difference of culture and tie that very closely with changes in time and politics in South Africa, because that also has it sprinkles itself in that discussion. What stands out almost immediately?
They're very different. First of all, by the way, people think vets and UCT are the same. Completely different.
What stands out immediately?
It's the culture. Yes, here's a wonderful analogy that one colleague used. One colleague said, when I got to UCT, said to me, you see, she came from vets, she was at vets as well. She said, you see, at vets, when we argue, there's blood on the floor.
Ooh.
At UCT, there's no blood. There's internal bleeding.
Oh, no.
You die without notice.
Jeez, that sounds drastic. Yeah.
We smile.
It's very different than in that context.
Yeah, we smile. We might even give you coffee. We might give you an opportunity.
And yet you don't realize.
And you think they like you.
Oh, no. Marimo, it's pretty obvious. So you always
have to read between the lines.
Yeah.
And at vets, when we argued, we knew that David doesn't get along with so-and-so.
Yes, and that's
it's known.
Yeah.
We are going to people.
Let's put it on the floor.
There was no. I don't know whether that was like that before. So there was no smiling about it. But she was trying to say to me, and it's a white woman who we were together at Vets, and I found her at UCT, and she said, "Ooh, be careful here." Ooh. And she said, "You see, the problem with internal bleeding, you die without notice."
Is it a liberal nature of it? Because we welcome you gracefully, we feed you, and yet we don't really like you.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to?
I mean, sometimes I think it's smart politicking.
Well, I guess.
Because if we do that, you'll relax probably. And
yes.
Sometimes I think people maybe separate things that I'm polite. I'm polite. Yeah, the fact that I don't like you is neither here nor there. I'm polite. I'm
just a nice guy.
But if war time comes, don't think I'm going to be with you.
That's still smart politicking.
It's smart politicking. Yeah. I think it's smart politicking.
Yeah. Jeez. But in terms of the Unisa culture, they're having administrative issues now that are so dramatic. What and also the distance nature of the education. What do you think stands out about it for you in your experience with Unisa?
I mean, I have to say, by the way, before I answer that question, I think Unisa has to realize they've got one of the smartest women as Vice Chancellor.
Right now,
Right now.
You make it sound like they're not aware of it.
They're not. They're not. And I think one day they might look back and realize they had a good woman and they just lost it. And I'm not privy to the detail of the debates, but I want to say I've been in academia a long time. I've worked with many, many people. And Puleng is young. It's not very, very long. She hasn't been in academia as long as I have been.
Yeah.
She hasn't walked my journey. She's not a rated scientist. But she's one of the sharpest women.
Yeah.
He's a real scholar. He's not Mickey Mouse.
Have you worked with her, or how have you experienced?
Well, when I was at Unisa, she was there.
Okay.
Yeah, she was there. She wasn't even a professor. She was in the Faculty of Humanities.
Okay.
She became, when Professor Makanya was appointed, I was there. That's when I also became DVC after that.
Yeah.
And Makanya appointed her as a director in his office.
Okay, because Boni talent.
She's smart.
Yeah.
She's smart.
Yeah.
She's the one who crafted the projects in Makanya's office. She did she did a lot of things. And then, of course, she left and went to Vets.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I just want to put that on record.
Yeah.
And it's not a usual thing in this country for people, especially in academia. It is very rare to hear vice chancellors, one vice chancellor saying the other vice chancellor is smart, is good, is whatever. I want to put it on record now.
Why is it rare?
She's one because there's some pseudo competitive nonsense going on. I think people are just insecure.
Yeah.
People can't sit with competence in their midst. And I can tell you now, Puleng is damn smart.
Yeah.
I would have voted for her to be Unisa vice chancellor.
Easily, eh?
Easily. And I would admit when people say, well, she went from one position to another quickly, I understand that. She would still give many people in executive positions in universities in this country a run for their money.
Yeah.
Many people are not scholars. She is a scholar. She's also a nice person,
And that comes in handy.
And she doesn't. I've got nothing to benefit from her.
Yes.
She's my junior.
She's
not my senior. I don't need
her vote.
I don't need her vote.
Yeah.
But I will say to you, she's very smart. And when you have good leadership, there's a tendency for when people have good leadership not to recognize it until they lose it, and then they get bad leadership, and then they say,
Ngalite.
We have that problem.
Yes. Like now we're missing Jacob Zuma. Nah, let's leave that.
Wow, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
You've been in Cape Town too long.
No.
Wow.
I'm just saying, but it's like it's not only that. I mean, I was listening to, if you hear the ESCOM story, and I was listening to Ruel Khoza being interviewed by Given and so on.
Is it? A few weeks ago, yes.
And then you think, wow, so we could have stayed.
We could have. We didn't.
Did we even
We didn't realize.
Celebrate him?
We didn't realize at the time.
We didn't.
Yeah.
Just slowly.
It fizzled away.
And then now you expect the guy to jump around to come and help.
No, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying,
He's moved on.
He's moved on.
Yeah.
But I joined Unisa during Pichana's time.
Okay.
I wasn't ready to leave Vets. Frankly speaking, I loved Vets. Vets was home.
What inspired the move?
Pichana sold me a dream. A beautiful dream.
Yeah.
And
did it live up to the dream?
Yes, Pichana did.
Yeah.
Pichana remains one of the best, and I must be clear, Bani Pichana.
Of course, we know
because
who it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's because the other Pichana had been my boss as well.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yes.
Bani Pichana
Yeah.
is the best boss I have ever had.
Wow.
Who recruited me to be Dean of the College of Science, Engineering and Technology at Unisa whilst I was director of the Marang Center I was founding director of the Marang Center for Maths and Science Education.
Yeah.
I was an associate professor at Vets. I'd been there 12 years. I had a career that's flourishing.
You were
I was a rated scientist.
Yeah.
I was young. But of course, my personal life, of course, was changing, whatever. Yeah. And I thought I need a change. My mentor said to me, Jill Edler.
Yeah, same mentor.
By the way, Jill Edler, my mentor, I was her boss by then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she's not interested in management positions. Because in academia, you have people, you can be, you remember I said I have two positions?
The professor.
You can be a senior academically. Or a senior administratively, or you can be both.
Both, yes. So you do both.
There are people who just want to be senior academically. Yeah. So they're the top professor. They don't want to be head of department. They don't want to be vice chancellor. They don't want.
I know those types. Yes.
Yeah. So she's one of those.
Yeah.
She's A-rated.
So which is why you became her boss.
That's why I became her boss administratively. She reported to me, vice chancellor was Loiso. Jill said, you are making a big mistake. Unisa, your research is going to die.
Oh, no.
Because Unisa is not a research institution.
Oh, yes, that's true.
I said to them, I have to go. Because at Vets, it was a brilliant place for my career. But I wanted to be a research chair. Yeah. My tenure as founding director, I had agreed 3 years. It was coming to an end, and I wanted to be a research chair.
Okay.
I looked for funds. There are these Sachi chairs in the country that come through the NRF. They wouldn't choose me because I'm younger. I mean, Jill is there, whatever.
There's enough people to choose.
Yeah. So I was the young one. So I decided I'm going to go out there in business to raise money. That's the thing about academia, by the way. You can do anything. So I went out, wrote proposal, got someone who was willing to fund my chair.
Okay.
A black business person who was willing to fund
What do they
chair.
benefit from the funding?
It's people who care about education.
Okay.
So I give them a proposal because I wanted to have a research and development chair. So I would work with schools, do my research in schools.
Okay.
So I wouldn't just publish, but I would also look at improving teaching and learning. And
yes. And also it has to do with what you're researching as well.
Yes. So it's people who make contributions to education. There are people who do that.
Yeah.
So someone said, there's the money.
Then it made it easy for you.
Yeah. Mary Metcalf was the head of School of Education.
Yeah. I remember that era.
Yeah. Yunus Balim was the deputy vice chancellor for academic. Luis Ononga was the vice chancellor. I tell Mary, I've got money for a chair. I can't remember who was the dean. I think Tawana Kupe,
okay,
the VC of UP,
currently
was the dean, the current VC.
Jeez.
So they start talking. I have the money. Remember that I went out. I get the money. Mary Metcalf gives me feedback. Her hierarchy says they want to advertise the position. I said, what are you advertising?
I have the money.
No. They want to advertise for a chair that I raised money for. I'm like, Mary, I raised money for my chair. Not for anybody's chair. This is for me. It is my proposal. This is the proposal I gave this person.
Why couldn't that?
No.
Because it seems obvious.
You can't just get a chair. It must be contested. What?
Like a tender system.
So then I thought about it. Then I looked around the country. I thought, who would apply for this? I thought Jill might apply. I thought Jill is my mentor. I'll tell her, Jill, she knows I applied. No, I'll tell her, you are not applying. This is my check. If she applies, she's going to beat me. She's got millions of years of experience and whatever. But I can talk to her. Yeah. Everyone else, I'm like, everyone else is on par.
Yeah.
Outside. So then I have to tell the donor. So I go to the donor and I say, the university wants to advertise. So I want you to know so that you are not surprised when you see this. I'm happy to compete. I've checked out. But I'm sure I can.
I'll be fine.
I can get this. I mean,
like
it's
that.
my proposal after all. I don't think anyone can beat me. And the donor said, "What? I'm giving you. I want you.
Oh no! Yes.
I want you to be the chair.
Yeah.
I saw your proposal.
Wow.
Now, what's going to happen if
somebody else beats you?"
I said, well, maybe they'll be given the proposal, but maybe they might come with theirs, whatever. Knowing that this is academia. He says, I know academics are very fussy. Someone's going to now start telling me that they want. Then he said, no, not with my money.
What?
If they're advertising, I'm taking my money. I said, what?
Did that information get to them?
Yes, I told them. So I lost the funding.
Oh, no.
So the donor said, Vets doesn't get the money. And if they don't give it to you.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. That's it. That's the end of it. If they want to advertise the chair, let them go ahead.
That must have been the reason you left.
So I said, I'm leaving. At that time, I had 2 universities that were recruiting me. Bani was talking to me. And then Professor Thando Mthembu, who was the Deputy Vice-Chancellor at Vets, had been Vice-Chancellor at the Central University of Technology.
Yeah.
Had recruited me for a Deputy Vice-Chancellor position. Remember, I'm director here. I had gone for one interview. I went for the first interview. Now they are calling me for the second. At the same time, Bani.
So you're thinking you're getting this?
No. I knew I'd get the job outside.
Yeah.
And these people know, Thando knows me very well from Vets because he chaired the committee that promoted me to associate professor. I gave them such a hard time. Story for another day. But I have to go for the second interview at CUT.
Yeah.
Bani calls me for this opportunity to be dean. There is DVC. I make the way. I'm thinking
DVC is higher, isn't it?
DVC is higher, Deputy Vice Chancellor.
Yeah.
But I'm young, right? I'm getting divorced. I've just gotten divorced, right?
Yeah.
19-year-old marriage just ended.
Oh no.
I need a change in life, you know.
You need to drive somewhere else.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if I go to Bloemfontein.
Yeah.
Now, I get there. Whoever I go to dinner with, the whole city will know. I'm like, they can keep their DVC position.
You wanted a bigger town, a bigger city.
I thought I want a big city. I don't want to be dealing with other
issues.
And then of course, Bani was selling me a dream.
Yeah.
Bani's dream sounds so good. I applied.
Wow.
I competed, but I didn't know what I was gonna get there. Unisa was rough when I got there.
Really?
Yeah. I became dean of the College of Science, Engineering and Technology. It was the worst performing faculty in the university.
The whole country?
No,
or
in the
the
university
itself?
Yeah, probably the whole country as well. I mean,
yeah.
The Vice-Chancellor could not even go to the faculty, could not meet with them. They would boo.
What?
The people didn't even want me. I didn't know. I get there, the security, I'm moving from, remember I resigned from Vets and they tell me, the Vice-Chancellor of Vets come to my office, right to the education campus, says, I hear you are leaving. You can't.
Yeah.
I say to him, I'm leaving.
Yeah, you're too
late. I can't
late.
stay here. My career is not going to grow.
Yeah.
I'm gone. So anything I can do? I said, nothing. Loiso left and said, fine.
Yeah.
But I hope you come back. No, good luck. Unisa, they had no confidence in Unisa that I will stay.
Oh.
Said, I hope you come back.
And you were there a while.
Yeah. Mary Metcalf, whatever. They said, okay, so we are going to keep your job open for 1 year. Because we don't think you'll stay there. You are a scholar through and through. You're not going to stay there. So anytime you want to come back, just let us know.
Jeez.
I say, fine. They appoint me as an honorary professor.
At Vets, yeah.
Yeah, Vets
just so
that they have a hold on me.
Yeah.
They supervise our students, whatever. I moved to, I signed everything at Unisa. Now I go January 2 or 3rd. I walk in. First thing first, at security, they said they'd left the keys at security. The security guard said, "You, Dean." I come on. Now I have to convince people that I'm the Dean. Meantime, the car is full
of all sorts of stuff.
Boxes, students. I got my students advised to put the boxes in there. Hey, after a long time, they agree. Fine, someone confirms, she is the Dean. They agree. They give me the keys. I go there. I get into the office. My vet students put the boxes in the office. I look at the furniture. You know, in academia, by the way, in a proper university,
I like how you say proper. It means there are some that are not.
No. Some people in universities don't understand this. Yeah. When you are doing well as a researcher, your office shows.
Oh.
Because you win money.
Of course,
You buy your own furniture. You've got your, so I had my Apple big screen. I had everything. My office, I had a round table, I had a couch, I had everything.
Not there, not at Unisa.
So I go to Unisa. This is an office of the Dean. I find this steel, this steel book cupboard.
Yes.
Me, I had finished my office. I even left my couch there and my big screen Apple. The person who comes here can take that.
Yeah.
I get there. I was like, what?
Tate Pichana didn't show you around first.
Tate Pichana is still coming.
Yeah.
Immediately, I start asking, where's maintenance? Maintenance. There's some blue chair, office chair that's round in there. There's no phone. There's nothing. There's no PA. Everybody's on leave.
Wow. Oh, yeah, of course. Early Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The following day, I find maintenance. I say to them, take out everything that makes noise when you do this, like steel. Must go out. The office ends up being empty.
Yeah.
There's a small little desk and there's a chair, blue, dirty chair. I'm sitting there with my MacBook Air because I had transformed. I'm doing well as a researcher.
Of course.
With my iPhone and I'm there. I'm working.
But with this tiny little setup.
Now I'm a dean.
Yeah.
I'm busy doing. They give me emails, whatever. I'm doing Unisa business on my personal laptop and phone and cell phone because there's no phone in this office. There's no whatever.
Jeez.
Whilst I'm busy running around trying to get a card, I was pushed around at Unisa because I'm small. People don't know who you are. They're like,
They think you're a student.
Yes. Are you sure you're supposed to come in? Go. I go to the back and I sit there. I stare. Yes. I stand queues. Pichana goes to do the rounds to find me and show me the rounds. He gets there, he finds that I'm not there. He finds that the office is empty. There's nobody. He's very embarrassed.
Wow.
He speaks to Professor Makhanya, was a pro vice chancellor at that time. Hey, the new dean is there. Finally, I get a card. It took a longish time. I got a temporary PA who was from it, whatever. People are on leave, everybody. The deputy dean comes after a week. Says, everybody's on leave. He doesn't have much time. But of course, he had applied for a job. He didn't get it.
So that's also sensitive.
This job, I realized later that this job was contested. Me, I didn't know. I contested the last round. But apparently it had gone 3 rounds or whatever.
Hell.
And then what happens? The people in the School of Computing. So the College of Science, Engineering and Technology has the School of Science, the School of Engineering, School of Computing.
Okay.
The School of Computing is down the corridor at that time, just down the corridor from the Dean's office. The director of the School of Computing, Professor Lucas Venter.
Yeah.
Professor Lucas Venter comes to my office. How are you, Professor? Professor, we are so happy to have you.
Yeah.
I'm the director of the School of Computing. My office is down the road. Anything you need, please call me. Every Wednesday, we have tea in this room.
Was genuine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't sure that time. We have tea in this room, whatever. You can pop in. You'll hear the bell ringing. All the members of the School of Computing come and have tea. Join us anytime, Dean, you want, anytime. I say, fine. And then there were people who popped in, whatever. But it's a hostile place.
Sheesh.
By the way, 2 of the first people who came into my office are 2 people I was at Unibo with, who were my seniors.
Many years ago.
Many years ago.
And now they are juniors.
Yeah, they were my seniors 2 years ahead of me.
Yeah.
They come, they're happy to see me because we see each other's careers. So they had heard that I'm coming. So they know the gossip, why I'm not wanted. So they come into the office. I'm like, I'm happy to see them. Oh, Smasha. And then they're like, shh, they close the door.
Oh, hell. Oh.
What's going on? What's going on? Why? Why do you? They say, we don't want people to know that we know you. I'm like,
because then they'll be taking a side.
Yeah, they say. I say, what? They say, you are not wanted here.
Yeah.
I say, really?
So vets were right when they said you may not last.
They said I may not last. So I say, really? Why? Whatever. I'm speaking up. And then as I'm talking, the guy says, shh. I say, what? This office is tapped, I'm sure. I'm like, wow,
That's
wow,
crazy.
wow. I'm like, wow. I'm in a lion's den.
Wow.
Then
and this is what, first week?
First week, man. First week. I'm like, why don't they want me? Now I ask them, they say you hate white people. The rumor here is you hate white people. So, and the rumor here is that you are not a scientist.
Oh.
So you won't be able to lead people here.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? And then they.
Where did they get the white people thing?
No, it was the rumor.
Yeah, but why? No, because it has to start somewhere.
Well, because I mean, I don't allow people to jump all over my head.
Yeah.
I mean, there were one or two white people at vets who I took to task.
Oh, that's
the legal way, the proper way. I do play by the rules.
Yeah.
Now, I work hard, and I play by the rules, and I will not allow someone to jump all over my head for any reason, and because I know my job.
Yeah, it's easy for someone to interpret that as you don't like certain people.
Yeah, so there was, you know, there were things. I mean, a simple thing is like, you know, when I was director of the center at Vets, the founding director, we had raised funds from Standard Bank. We have 2 chairs, one for maths, one for science, whatever. This other chair of science doesn't want to report to me. Remember, the maths chair is the one who was my supervisor, now I'm her boss.
And
she's happy to report to me.
With that.
Now this one doesn't want to report to me, another white woman. I say, who do you want to report to? He says, you want to report to Mary Metcalf. I say to her,
wants to jump you and go straight to
I say to her, why? She said, no, she's experienced. I said, do you know that Mary doesn't have a PhD? And I have.
What experience are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is it really that you want? And I called the meeting. Mary is the head of school is here. The chair of maths is here. The woman is there. And I say, now, I want you to help me, people, because I'm here. I'm a professor, I'm a rated scientist. I've got a PhD now. Here's the person whose salary is funded by the money that I raised.
Doesn't want to report to me.
Doesn't want to report to me.
That's crazy.
So I just want to know, should we remove her from the position? Or do you condone this? Mary said, no. What is this?
Yes.
Hey, wow.
Because Leana get an comrade.
Yeah.
well,
we leave it there. But it was those things, I would call those things to order.
Yeah.
You know, so people didn't like it. A professor who tells students, one of the things that professors can fight for in some places can be students.
Of course.
Supervising students.
Okay.
So a black student comes, say they want to be supervised by me, and a professor says,
why?
Oh, come on. And the student comes to tell me. And then I take them to task.
You've done that a few times.
And then I demand an apology. You know, so I think maybe they had it wasn't many stories. I think those were 2 major stories there. But the issue is that sometimes there are environments that don't want us to be assertive.
And
we must be timid as black people. We must just accept everything, irrespective. So me, I work hard. I give much. But I want to do my job freely. I want you to take me seriously because I take myself seriously. So don't trample all over me and expect me to.
How severe is that in academia?
Oh, very.
Yeah.
Very. But I always say, if you have a big mouth, you better work hard.
So back up your mouth.
Yeah. You see, and that also goes to the issue of my achievements. I needed to have all those achievements. I'm a woman, I don't look too bad, and I do speak for myself. If I don't have everything,
all this,
they will say. They say it all the time. And of course, you discover as you go along, as I've discovered, even when you have everything,
Because your qualifications were questioned at some point.
Of course. Yeah. But I mean, how crazy. As if I got my PhD in Cambodia. When it's here, I bet you can just phone them.
And go and find out.
Do you know what I mean?
What did you ever find out what was the motive for that? Or it was just nothing?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think people... I think there's always, I feel like there are people who are on a political agenda. And most of the time, I think it's got nothing to do with me personally.
Yeah.
I think it's discrediting any black success.
Yeah.
You know, because the more you undermine black success, you create a narrative that actually it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So if you discredited anyone who flourishes, and of course, I believe in the phrase black excellence.
True.
And I believe in it because excellence is so much associated with whiteness. Everything that's beautiful, that's good, that's functional. Umlung.
Yeah.
You know, so there are people who want to keep that narrative that anything that's functioning, that's good, that's whatever, is done by a particular group of people. My view is that they will want to bring anything that's not Western, that's not black, that's not white,
yeah.
They'll bring it down. So I have convinced myself it's got nothing to do with me. I happen to be the girl with the ball at a particular time, and so they will chase me. So black people should never think that if they chase me and they successfully push me out of position, you are going to come there as a black person and you will automatically not have the problem. My view is, look now in our society, we don't get many white leaders discredited. It's always black leaders who are credited. Okay?
I'm sure today's paper is.
If you can't do your job, that's why I say, I do my job, ang chonchimali, ang jolly, ang puzi.
What are they? What do they want?
Now, they complained about everything.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, so they went for my qualifications.
They didn't find anything?
Well, there was no even need.
No, of course.
Because that's an embarrassment to the university, by the way. If a university appoints a deputy vice chancellor and you say their qualifications have to be investigated, what you are saying is not so much a shade to the deputy vice chancellor, it's a shade to the university, because it means their systems are bogus.
It means they're hired without checking properly.
Exactly. And so first the university, but also, before you come to me, you must question the rating system. How do you get rated? To all these people all over the world who are busy bowing down, right? So there's a lot of things that clearly will have to be dealt with.
Jeez.
If really my PhD
did you ever
needed
find out where it was coming from?
I did get the letter.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Ultimately, the former vice chancellor, who had the one who had said to me, "Oh, there's this email, and didn't give me details." When she didn't give me details, I put it on social media. I said, "Apparently,
I am not qualified.
Apparently,
yes.
I'm not qualified enough. I have to be investigated." Then he got whatever. Then I said, "You have to give me. If you don't give me, I'm gonna put it there so that people who I went to school with can talk."
And then did they speak?
And the people I went, vets wrote a statement, and of course, Professor Thando Mthembu, the vice chancellor of DUT, was my senior at vets when he was doing a PhD. I was there doing honors masters. We were in the same corridor. He wrote on Twitter like, you were jumping up and down there in our corridor, you know. So I did find the two people. So it was a mailing list of about 50 people.
What?
That someone sent around, and then they started a conversation about DVCs, and someone said, and this DVC doesn't have a PhD, or is this PhD fake?
Yes.
So two people. So when I got that, I saw one person, a professor at UCT, one of the senior professors whose name I always forget in the math department, asked to be removed from the list. He said, "Please, I don't know what you're talking about. Remove me from this." And I don't want to be a part of this. Yeah. And then Professor Crane Sudin, who was CEO of the HSRC, he was also at some stage professor at UCT. Yeah. And DVC. He said, "Remove me from the list."
They were just chatting, basically.
They just said, "Remove me from the list." Yeah. They just said, "Remove me from the list," right? The rest of the people just kept quiet as these people were talking. So I got the two people who started this thing, right?
What?
I've got their names. So what I did, I wrote to them. I wrote to them nice letters, I said to them, you obviously don't know who I am. If you really want to know me, I'm happy for you to set up a meeting, whatever. And
were they in the same school as you were?
These are, at UCT, we've got the UCT community. The UCT community, so they are members of the UCT community, what we call the community, because the community is alumni, emeritus professors, donors, whatever. So they are alumni who have become donors.
Yes.
One of them even gave to the university, not much, but they give.
It's substantial.
But I mean, other universities don't have that tradition. It's a good tradition in a way, because you like, even when COVID started, the first group I brief is I had a staff assembly, and then I meet with alumni and donors to tell them what are we doing, whatever, because they keep the university going, funding, whatever. They're all over the world, whatever. So these two, I got their names, I googled them, I checked them, whatever.
Jeez.
And I wrote to them nice letters, and one of them said doesn't want to meet, whatever. The other one, the other one is still busy chasing me even now.
Still not convinced.
Still not.
That's
I mean, it's crazy. But the other one kept quiet and disappeared. This one who's still busy, when I got shortlisted for a VC position, he was on my case.
Yeah.
He was trolling me. He was sending me emails.
And doesn't even want to meet you.
He even watched at UCT, we do, it by the way, the last time it happened was with me. That when you compete for the job, it's public.
Oh, really?
It's live streamed. Yeah.
What?
I guess I should say I closed the shop. Like, bro.
You did.
So that was the last time it happened.
Jeez.
From then on, it stopped happening. But my video is still there. He said, crazy. Congratulations, it was a nice presentation. Wow, I'm glad you mentioned this. When they made the appointment, he said, UCT has scraped the bottom of the barrel to get a vice chancellor.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And now they've learned. Now they no longer show all the names, because now I know all the
people that
now
are there.
Now they do blind copying. They do blind copying.
Jeez.
But I mean, these are the loud mouths in whatever.
There'll always be those.
They'll always be. He wrote after I took office that he wants to be excluded from UCT. He doesn't want any male. He's no longer an alumnus of the university. We should forget about him.
Is it a race thing, or is it a... I
think it's both. It's mainly race.
Yeah.
I mean, on that mailing list, by the way, there were 2 black South African people.
Yeah, the rest is just...
Who I know, very high profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 1 black non-South African. They were mainly professors. The majority were professors in the university.
Okay.
And yeah, I won't mention the names of the 2 people. I was very disappointed at them. One of them, I think, has exonerated themselves. Because when the drama happened in 2020, that person came and said, you know what? Stay put. You are doing a brilliant job.
You'll be fine.
No. He said you are doing a brilliant job. That's why they're on your case.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
So the politics.
And maybe she was just copied. Maybe she didn't believe. You see, my interpretation was, if you are there in the presence of such injustice and you know me, you whatever, why can't you even say you guys are talking nonsense? If you do nothing, you're complicit.
Yes,
you see, that was my view. You're complicit because the conversation kept going on from the email string that it kept going on. Why can't you just say, excuse me, guys?
Interesting. The theory of the bystander is a big issue in the world. Yeah, no, where you're part of the crime if all you did was just watch. Now we even take our phones, and we shoot the crime, and move, and so we can post and get likes. Exactly. And the politics of academia. Clearly, they're quite hectic.
They are. And I think it's because in academia, we have what we call academic freedom.
Yes.
Which, of course, as you are vice chancellor, you realize is freedom for some and not for others.
So it's quite tricky.
Yeah, I mean, people expect that they have freedom to say whatever, to express their views, but the vice chancellor can't.
Interesting. When we were driving, it's something that you made mention of, that being so high in your position in academic, you almost limited in terms of your speech.
Yeah. You are limited. You are limited, and I think being vice chancellor of UCT is even more so,
Tell me about it.
Because this is what happens when you are the top person. We are the top university.
That's it.
We attract attention. So some of the things that happen at UCT, that happen at other universities, nobody talks about them.
Yeah.
But at UCT they become a big deal. I mean, and it's from so. Every decision I make, I know will be contested.
Yeah.
There'll be people who like it, those who don't like it. But what people don't know is that at UCT, there's even funds I can take from certain donors.
Really?
Yeah.
Because?
There'll be a furore, man.
Oh, no.
And then I say no, right? To millions of rands for the university.
Jeez.
And guess what? They go to vets.
And
vets take. People think we are the same. And I tell Zeb, we are not the same. When he got the job, we are the same. I said, calm down. We are not.
yes.
We are close.
But not quite.
Yeah. And I gave an example. The funds that you took there and put the donor on the cover, celebrating the millions, it came to us first.
And you said?
We said no.
Yeah. But what are some of the reasons why you would say no to a moment like that?
Because of the politics. Because, the university doesn't want to be associated with a donor who funds this person or that person or this country or that organization.
Or Gupta money.
But
for example,
yeah. Yes. What a Gupta being a placeholder.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And even what's the scandal of the company in Stellenbosch that when
what happened? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the company because they had just also given us 10 million.
And you took it.
The case, no.
Oh hell.
We said no.
Sheer. How well funded?
So if you give us money, we do it.
Due diligence.
We can be as when I cry tears.
So you can't just take any money.
You see, people think we've got more money because we get money from everywhere. They don't know that actually we take an ethical standpoint.
Ethical high ground, essentially.
High ground, definitely. That we say no.
Cheer.
And other universities don't have that pressure. No, I don't want to talk about others. I'm just talking about them because the others, it's obvious.
Of course.
So we don't take money from tobacco companies.
Whoa.
Or not only tobacco company, we don't even take money from the Anti-Tobacco Foundation because the money that goes to the Anti-Tobacco is from the tobacco companies.
Yes, of course.
And anybody who gets money from tobacco companies or from anti-tobacco companies and whatever does business and makes money out of it, we don't want money from them.
But isn't that righteousness?
We push back millions.
That's what I'm about to say. Doesn't that righteousness work to your disadvantage? Surely it must.
At one level it is, but at another level it's a good thing.
It's daddy's teaching of Mudidio Makopo. You must still be proud.
Yes.
It can't always be a good thing though if you haven't eaten and there's food coming from someone who got a PPE tender.
No, the only wish I have, I don't have a problem that we say no. Taking an ethical high ground.
Yes.
I don't have a problem. What I would like to have is for every member of the community to understand that that's the case.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Get us. Yes.
Understand. So don't demand things. Understand. So when you see one university that got 100 million from the people that we said
from tobacco company,
and they, example,
yes.
And they're doing some things with them, and you say, but what about us?
Yes, we also want cigarettes. Example,
yes. You must know there are certain decisions, and because we make those tough decisions, there are consequences to this. So it's just like at home when my dad said that. It just means that we are not going to have TV. But we won't have.
Is that a collective culture? Is it something you found there and you're encouraging it as you go?
I found it there. We're keeping it. it's not necessarily owned by everybody. So there's certain donors that would come, and sometimes one has to intervene because sometimes individuals would make decisions. Head of department would say, no, we don't want this. It's from a company that feeds children with sugar. Sugar. So can you see the politics that we have?
It gets so tricky.
Sugar, alcohol, fossil fuel, whatever.
Yes.
Those things, I don't think any university...
You're going to run out of people, most.
Well, my hope is that there are other companies that take an ethical high ground.
Yeah.
That have money and they will fund us.
How well funded are universities?
Not well funded. I mean, we depend
by the private. By donors and private sector.
No. Look, for we at UCT, 80% of our income comes from our running
costs. Yeah,
running costs come from government. No, from government.
I was about to ask: does it come from government or does it come from parents?
No, from government. And I'm counting in that 80% of what we spend. I'm counting the salaries, everything.
The maintenance.
But the money that comes in comes from subsidy, the block grant, NSFAS.
Yes.
And subsidies, whether it's for student throughput or for publication.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. We do have, of course, we raise funds and we're doing very well. But, people think you do well with fundraising because you are just UCT. They have no idea how much I run.
Is it tricky?
Run.
Yeah.
No, it's not tricky. Donors want to be taken care of. You maintain relationships.
Yeah.
And maintaining relationships is not easy.
But what do they mostly want?
No, anyone who gives you money wants to know that it's going to a good cause. You are thriving. You are aware that they are doing good, and you acknowledge.
True.
So I keep them up to date. So I have meetings with donors as groups. First of all, we have trusts overseas. We've got a UCT UK trust that's very active.
Yeah.
I attend the meetings. I report to them. It's people who studied at UCT and 1 or 2, 3 people who love South Africa, support UCT, but they never studied here, they never lived here. But the majority of the people are UCT alumni who have made it big in the world.
And they're everywhere else.
Yeah. So in the UK, we've got a trust. And then we've got someone who we've hired in the UK who works half-time, who also helps us to, identify new opportunities.
Jeez.
And then I have to meet with them. And then we have a trust in the US. Again, we have someone who we have hired who's in the US.
Amazing.
By the way, they don't only identify donors, they also maintain, they communicate with our alumni. So our alumni is kept informed. They've got Twitter pages, they've got everything, whatever. I meet with them separately. So there's one in the US, there's a trust in the US. The chair, again, UCT alumnus, they are lawyers, they are whatever. And then we've got another trust in Australia.
You are busy.
UCT Australia Trust.
Yeah.
Again, we've got someone who is hired. By the way, these people that we've hired who are working for us are not paid by us, by our money. They are paid by the money that's raised.
From the trust.
Or, for example, in Australia and in Canada, we've got a donor who's an alumnus who says, I will pay for the staff member.
Yes,
so they take care of the salary. They provide office space. That person, they provide meeting places, everything. They provide everything.
Amazing.
And then we've got another person, as I say, in Canada. So the trusts are in Australia, US, and the UK.
Yes.
And then hired staff is in Canada, Australia, US, and the UK. And then I'm busy recruiting for a fundraiser in Switzerland. We are interviewing them before the end of this month.
These not only necessarily the positions, these funders, they form a crucial role in really the running of the university ultimately.
Well, not...
I say this because you have to have money to run it.
Of course, yes, you're right. But the maintenance of them, I record videos for them to update them. There's a newsletter. I meet with them. Some of them I meet with them one-on-one. Depending on how much they give.
Of course.
I do one-on-ones. Under COVID, one-on-one. If we get anything about UCT in the media, I set up meetings.
So you manage.
I have to manage them. End of the year, I do it old style, man. I do handwritten cards.
Wow.
Lots and lots.
You get them posted.
We post them.
That's amazing.
Because these
must be special.
These are... Some of them were at UCT in 1964, in 1974. And then, of course, we have, and I think we are the only university, I'm saying it, others can use it. We have the golden graduates every year. So every year we call all the graduates who graduated 50 years ago. We bring them to campus.
What?
Yeah.
So because every year there's a new 50 years.
Every year there's a new 50 years.
Of course.
And so last year was COVID. We did it online. We send them things, and then I interact with them online. I cook with them online. When they come onto campus, during they attend one graduation ceremony. They spend 2 days on campus. I have breakfast with them. I had lunch. The executive has breakfast. I have lunch with them. We have golden things. Wow. They are wearing white gowns.
So it's
they wear white gowns with gold touches. They've got a special
little seating there.
They've got a special
and they get announced to there.
We welcome them.
Wow.
And then we've got an arrangement for people who boycotted graduations during apartheid. They can tell us if they want to graduate. It's a special graduation. We treat them like it's an honorary graduate.
Of course.
They come and sit on stage. We read their citation. What did they study? Even if it's just a bachelor's degree.
Yes, of course.
It was in law. It was in 19 what. They were involved in this movement.
And they ended up going to Lusaka.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we graduated. So the oiling of the thing, people have no idea. And then you do the handwritten cards. When I started as VC first year, they said, handwritten cards. My fundraising office said, you've got to do this, Prof. I said, are you sure? This is
2021. Then it was 2018.
Said, you won't regret, Prof. I did them.
Have you seen the benefit of
Yes, they write back. Thank you so much. It means a lot because you're making time. It says you're making time. Some of them write back. They tell you about their family, who's doing, how they're doing. And these are major donors. These are people who give... they're individuals. They don't run foundations. An individual who gives 500,000 rands per annum.
Yes.
And then we also have badges, the Vice Chancellor's Circle, depending on how much you give. And then we've got the Chancellor's Circle. Every year I travel to the UK, to the US, to Australia to meet with them. I spend a week, some individual, some whatever.
It's easy to downplay this role. And think that it all has to do with the administration of the immediate environment.
You are the chief fundraising officer, you are the chief financial officer, you are the chief academic officer. You are the chief gardener. Because if any tree fell on any student and they broke their leg, it's my problem. So you also have to think about the students. So we insure our students.
Wow.
We insure ours because if a student
break their leg walking down the stairs,
even if they were jumping, they were jumping 3 stairs at the same time.
They shouldn't have done it.
Even if they shouldn't have done it, they break their leg or whatever. They must be insured. So we take it that to that level. So it's not. It's academics, it's everything. So when I go to residences to see what students are eating, to eat with them, it's not trivial.
It's so their experience.
I want to know what's going on.
Yeah. I've introduced a section of this chat by having a car drive.
Okay.
With the Mustang.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me honestly, how did you find that?
It was wonderful. It was amazing. I love cool cars.
Yes.
Yeah. You saw my Joburg car.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then I've got a crazy yellow car in Cape Town.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it tiny?
I've got a Jeep.
Oh, geez. You are quite an adventurous type.
But it's for fun. I mean, it's not, Yeah. But so I loved your Mustang. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy if you found me with
a Mustang.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't like repairing.
Oh, you wish somebody else could manage that stuff.
If there's somebody else managing that stuff, that's why I buy new cars. It's because I don't want to repair. I just want to drive. and someone must sort it out.
I'm a car guy through and through, so even the smell of petrol.
Wow.
I worry about electric cars. It's a great idea. I know and understand why, but I'm gonna miss petrol. God knows that. Anyway.
But I don't have a sense of smell, a good sense of smell, let me say that.
Yeah.
I don't smell things.
Okay.
But petrol.
It stands out.
And then I get dizzy if it's too much. If I'm at the petrol station, I've got to close the window.
Oh, no. What's your impression of an old car like this?
No, I love it. I mean, it's nice. I like it. I mean, it doesn't drive like an old car until you hear the rattlings.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like an old car. That's the thing.
It was normal.
No, I mean, I wouldn't mind buying this, but I would be thinking you need to do business with it. Well, I'm a good business person.
Already, when you first saw it, you said Manyalo.
Yes, I'm thinking Manyalo or movies
or something. Now there we go. Wow. This is good. I always wanted to do this. I'm excited. You were quite young at heart.
No, I am. I mean, I am.
What keeps you with that spirit?
I mean, the thing is, I don't have to make an effort. This is me. I mean, some people think I started being this way when I became VC, but it's because people who don't know me.
Yeah, you've always been this way.
This is just who I am, and I just choose to be who I am as I go on my life. People get to know me, and then they see this and they think it's an act. It would be too tiring.
To be acting all the time.
Really? And I have no reason to act. Frankly speaking, David, I have no reason to act. I have achieved everything. I mean, I could just. I really have nothing. No, what I'm saying is that I don't have to put up a show
to achieve
something. Yes.
So like what are followers?
No. They can go. I mean, I feel like McGee can go. I don't have chillers. You're just living my life. Yeah. I mean, one day I'll be much older, and there'll be things that I won't be able to do.
That's true, eh?
I mean, I keep thinking I won't be able to run as fast, whatever, and then I'll regret. I mean, now I'm thinking, when I was 15, I didn't wear short pants.
You should have.
I should have. And then when I say that, one of my sons says, "You can now." I'm like, come on. The whole Cape Town will fall apart.
Yes, funny winter.
I went to the beach for the first time.
Recently. I think you shot the video. Yes. You shot videos.
My boys shot the videos. I was falling.
Yes.
But I've never gone to the beach in Cape Town because I said to them, the whole country will be in crisis because people make it like a big deal.
Yeah,
as if I'm doing something wrong.
Do you ever have people that's too much with your youthful energy?
No, I don't know. Let me think. I mean, when I was at Unisa, by the way, they did try to get me off social media.
Really?
Yeah, social media was still new. I wasn't on Twitter. But I was on Facebook, and I went onto Facebook because many parents would want to bring their children to meet me.
Oh.
They used to do that at Beds, and they did that at Unisa, and it's just too much because as your career grows, more and more parents say, parents say, meet my child, maths this, whatever. And I mean, because I like young people or whatever, and then I do it, and then it's too much. So I thought, let me just do it on Facebook.
At least it's still the same. You can still have a conversation.
Yes, I can still have conversations. Yeah. And then I did Wise Up sessions on Saturdays. Yes. I'll just put an advert on Facebook and people would come. And actually it wasn't free. I'll charge them and put the money, but it doesn't come to me. The money would go to Adopt a Learner.
Oh yeah, that program that you started.
Yes. Yeah. So the money would go to Adopt a Learner and people would come.
What occupies most of your time, though, in all these tasks that you mentioned? So one of them must be
making decisions, man. Making decisions.
Is that tricky?
No, because there's no right or wrong decision.
Not true.
Yeah.
It's just what suits the moment.
Yeah, and then also I have to stick by it. And sometimes, of course, you make a decision, the rest of your executive doesn't agree. It's only me and my advisor and maybe one person agreeing.
And it's like, we're going ahead.
And I say, this is what...
Have you found yourself in those positions a lot?
Not a lot. Not a lot. But they do happen. And you've got to go with it, because if push comes to shove, if the popo hits the fan, it's not some DVC who's gonna whatever. I mean, you see people writing things on Twitter that have got nothing to do with me. Whether it's a rotten bread, mold on a bread in the dining hall, it's me.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
When there's a UCT, we see your face.
Yes. So if I say I don't want this supplier of bread, and people are fighting, and I'm convinced that this one is good, please, it's my problem. Because when there's a mold, it's my problem.
Don't they then accuse you of being too, what is the
dictatorial?
Word? Not even dictatorial. You care too much about the small issues that other people should be doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm saying about bread, but
as
it's
an
not,
example, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been accused of that because I'm sure I'm sure people would say I'm the vice chancellor who students put on Twitter that they went into the room, it was dirty, they're a new student, I will be there. That's the reason why I have a house next to campus. That's why you move into the vice chancellor's house.
So you're close to the issue.
So that I can go there. A student's candle that he was meditating and it falls on the whatever, it burns the curtain. I want to be there.
You had fire very recently.
Yes. So you have to be there. So nothing is ever too small.
Yeah.
You know, it can seem small, but it's never too small. You know, and there's a variety of things. Some things look small now, and then Unina went missing.
Yes, that entire
trivial. It looked trivial.
In the beginning, it seems like, well,
it looks trivial.
It will be found soon and it'll be over. And it became the biggest story of the past 10 years in South Africa.
But it wasn't small for me.
Yeah.
I call the parents. We meet with the parents. You do everything that... And of course, you do that behind closed doors. People don't know what you're doing. They think you are sleeping.
Yeah, they think you're tweeting.
Exactly, especially when you're on Twitter.
I think you're tweeting.
Yeah, I mean, they think you are tweeting if you're on Twitter. If you have pink lipstick, it's even worse. you're looking yourself on the mirror half the time. The other half the time, you're tweeting.
And you're wearing a nice, happy, colorful clothes.
Exactly, and big earrings. I mean,
yes, she was gone shopping when.
Exactly. Wow. So there's that thing. And by the way, we've got to talk about Twitter. Here's the thing: people don't realize. I tweet once a day.
Yeah. Is that a commitment to tweet once a day, or it just happens?
Not a commitment, but when I tweet once a day, when I'm at work, I mean, I'm on vacation now, and I haven't tweeted in whatever days.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So, but I tweet generally once a day, and it started with, I've got the past 3 a.m. squad.
Okay.
I greet them. I put a motivation thing there. I leave it. I get on with my day. That's like 3 o'clock when I wake up. After doing my meditations and prayers, I do that and I get on with my... People fight on my Twitter. I'm not even there.
You don't even see it.
Unless somebody tells me that... Yeah, but most of the time I don't even check. I check again the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because the tweet is getting traction. People think you're sitting there. No. I'm not a child, guys. Got too much to deal with.
Why does Twitter matter? And I asked this question because if you hadn't taken us there in this conversation, I probably wouldn't have gone there.
Yeah.
Because Twitter it's a non-existent entity in my life.
Yeah.
And so that's why does it seem to matter, particularly when you're dealing with students as well?
Well, I mean, and I would say why social media.
Yeah, let's use that. Let's use social media as a general reference.
For me it matters because the constituency I lead is there.
That's true.
You want to know them, you got to be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be surprised by things. And that's why I'm never surprised. People wonder, they ask, do you have spies? I don't have spies.
You are on social media?
I am on social media. I just look what's trending, what's going on.
Yeah.
Because
your market is a Twitter market.
Yeah. So I would check whatever. And of course, my children. And sometimes people tag me.
Okay.
Then I see something is brewing.
Yeah.
And then you can attend to it. But the bottom line is that, we're leading a different generation. I mean, I talk about Generation C. People talk about Generation Z. I talk about Generation C.
Yeah.
And this is a generation that cares about. It's a you can call it consumer or whatever, but it's C. They're online. They do meshes. They are on YouTube. They spread messages that way. They can start a war on the socials.
Yeah.
If you don't catch up, they sleep with their laptops.
They do
in bed. Their phones.
It's the first thing they look at when they wake up.
Exactly. I have children. My children are young adults. I get into their bedrooms and take them pictures with their cell phones on there and the laptop on the bed. All of them.
That's amazing.
All of them.
And that's what's happening now.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And you see what Generation C does. They get things done online.
Yeah.
And so if you are anti social media, that's fine. But just know that you will miss out a lot on the growth of your community. And by the way, many of these people used to rubbish me of being on social media. Just check. All the vice chancellors are there.
But in the beginning...
it was like, it's my problem. They are all on Twitter. All of them.
They were not keen on this.
The only difference is that people then go on there as a rule. You see, if you don't go... I didn't go there as a rule.
Yeah.
I have an agenda. I have an agenda.
You're not...
If you don't have an agenda, it shows.
Yeah, you're just there.
It's a notice board of the university.
You're a spectator.
It's a notice board of the university.
Exactly, yeah.
My Twitter page is not a notice board of the university. I'm talking to people.
That's it.
It's my agenda. And I got on there before I became VC of UCT. So I have another Twitter page of UCT, whatever. If people
want to do that, yeah,
then that's fine. But I do. I don't have pressure to tweet or whatever. I tweet when I have something to say. Sometimes I play. Sometimes I joke.
Sometimes you are at the beach.
Sometimes I'm at the beach. Sometimes I'm on the mountain.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm jumping off the top of my car.
Exactly.
At Atlantis Dunes. I mean, so what?
That's what you do.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And but the reason why I do that also to show a 360 view of my life is that, success looks easy.
Yeah.
Success looks easy, David.
And shouldn't it look easy?
It depends. I don't think, you see, if it looks easy, young people think that they don't have to do anything. They'll just get it.
Okay.
So I want them to know that what is it? What is it that I get up to?
Yes.
So I don't... oftentimes the videos that I put, by the way, are not taken by me. I don't even ask people to take them. My children take them.
Yes. And
so my children asked me one year for carte blanche permission to take videos. Of course, they say, one says it's for the museum, the other one says it's for the documentary. They say one day, whether you are alive or not, someone will want to do a documentary. We're going to sell them the material. so
they have a vision.
Yeah, and sometimes I get animated talking to them. As you know, I've got boys, and many people know I've got boys, and I talk a lot about with my boys, and they take videos sometimes. Sometimes I don't see them. Sometimes I look and I can see this one.
This one is is shooting.
Yes. And they don't. Sometimes they show me.
Yeah.
And there's one who's very active on social media, and he will say, please post that. I mean, that one in the beach, it was him. He says, please. He wanted me to put more. I said, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that. It's like, let them talk if they want.
Yes. Wow.
But I don't. But they take those videos. I don't ask. People think I just do. They catch me.
We think you are shooting, and you are playing, and you post. We think it's 99% you.
I'm getting on with my life.
Yeah.
I've got young people around me who happen to be my children, who take videos, who tease me sometimes, who whatever,
And they post.
And no, they don't post. They say to me, I must post.
Yes. And the beauty of it is it completes what you're saying. That it shows this 360 person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's the one who's active on Twitter, he posts sometimes.
Yes.
He posts, like not long ago, he posted a picture. He had gotten into my bed whatever, and the other one took a picture or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wasn't at home, and he was like, I miss my mom. And then he took, a big old 24-year-old, and there we are sleeping in bed. So occasionally he will do crazy things like that. Yeah. And as I say, those who want to out themselves, they must out themselves.
That's it.
Those who don't, that's okay.
It's
because it's their lives. Yes.
Raising boys, how tricky is it in this society we exist in now? We're dealing with so much when it comes to a boy child. We're dealing with expectation from society. There's a song I play on the radio all the time, Men Cry Too. It seems South Africans like that song because they need to be reminded that we are also human. We cry, we have challenges, our hearts get broken and so forth. It surely must be interesting.
Look, I think parenting is hectic.
Yeah.
I think even with girls, I think it's hectic. But I think with, raising boys is a big job. I consider myself blessed that it came out okay.
Yes.
Touch wood.
In the end. I think academics as well. Yes.
Well, not really. Only one of my sons I don't know if he's going to pursue the academic route.
Yeah.
But he's pursuing the postgraduate studies to the highest level.
Wow, okay.
But
you just don't know how far he'll take it. Yes.
Getting a doctorate is one thing. Whether you want to be an academic, we don't know.
It's something else.
But the others, none of them has talked about academia. He once in a while he talks about academia.
Yes.
But now he's starting a job in corporate, so. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
What advice do you give to a parent who's raising boys right now?
Be honest, man. Be open. And I say to them that as a woman, I can tell them the real truth about what the downsides of masculinity, which parents normally don't talk about. I don't think men can talk to their boys about the downsides of masculinity.
That's true. Because we don't see it very clear.
Yeah.
It's quite fuzzy.
Yeah. So I tell them you have a problem. Your problem is masculinity. It's not the problem of the women.
Yeah.
So they tell me, so before I hold the hand, should we sign a form first or whatever? Hey, I don't want to talk about, let's talk about you first, right? So that you can manage your life properly. I think, I also talk with them about my own experiences.
Of course, yeah.
Because all of us women have had experiences of men in relationships, in marriages,
at work, as bosses,
as whatever, so that they can see what patriarchy does, and the damage that it can do to a woman.
Yeah.
And so even when I come back home, things at work, whatever, the first people I talk with about stuff that happen at work are my boys.
Yes.
I talk with my boys about that. They know.
Yes, they pretty much know everything.
They know everything. They know the inside of the stories.
Yeah.
At my job. Yeah.
They are your confidants.
They are my confidants. Yeah, and of course they say if the day you go away, there's one who says I'm gonna pull off a Julius, whatever we'll tell them.
What does that mean?
At Winnie Mandela's funeral.
Oh, they are here, Mama.
They are here. Yes.
They are here. We see them.
We see them.
Wow, that's a bold one. The state of education in South Africa, from literally kindergarten, crèche, and where it ends up, it's quite wobbly.
Yeah,
very simply. I'm a sucker for education. I was very lucky to have a parent that encouraged it. Actually, she let me do it, because she let me carry on with it and realized that I do it. And she said, keep going. I've literally just done my master's now, very recently, and I didn't have to.
You don't need it.
I did it because I needed to actually, a girl broke up with me and I needed something to keep me busy. It's a story I tell. Yeah. So maybe doctorate will come with somebody to break up with me soon. So it's that kind of thing. And I don't have kids, so I don't have references, but I have nephews and nieces.
Yeah.
I was raised in Mamelodi, so my references are quite close. I see this all the time. And it concerns me greatly that and I'm asking this twofold.
Yeah.
Parenting in relation to academia.
Yeah.
And I mean schooling.
Yes.
And also schooling and school and education in South Africa on its own. Skepe says it's tricky, man. It doesn't look smooth, this environment. What is, as someone who is such an important player in this space, what is your observation and what do you say about it?
I mean, it's interesting because education is different from schooling, because schooling is shaped by where you are. And so there are many children who get high quality schooling in this country. It really depends. And there are many children who are damaged by schooling.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why there's a movement in the world, de-schooling society.
Yes, yeah.
People who don't believe in schooling, they believe schooling does more damage than good. But education, I think education in this country is in a tricky situation, but it's always been because it was divided, and after 94 we have one department for everybody and a national curriculum, but its delivery depends on who delivers it.
Yeah.
And so the politicians come to it from the point of curriculum policy. Curriculum policy and policies, different policies, but policy doesn't necessarily mean the implementation will be uniform. So we have uniform policies, but implementation is differentiated because it depends on the quality of hands that policy lands in and who implements it. And so in many ways, what we get is that you get sort of the image that the education in apartheid produced.
We're still grappling with it.
We're still grappling with it because it lands in the hands, particular hands. I think the big issue, and I'll get to the point that I think education is changing and should change, but I think the big issue right now is teachers understanding the power they have. Teachers have the greatest power because they are the implementing hands. And they, even during apartheid, you had teachers who could subvert the system. You can once you close the door, you can teach whatever you want.
You can say anything.
You can say anything. So you can actually decide to do a brilliant job, whether you are happy or not happy with your department, with your employer or not. But we have an environment where the unhappiness with the employer ends up affecting
the classroom.
So, and then it affects mostly the poorest of the poor.
Of course.
And the poorest of the poor are mainly black.
And then it carries on.
So the cycle continues, and it's the same cycle that happened during apartheid. So it's almost like you're not solving a problem, and so when people have little money, they try to take their children out of the township school. People think the better school is in the city. It's not always the case, of course. There are many schools in villages, in townships that are brilliant schools, but I wish we had more teachers who feel committed to the work more than commitment. They shouldn't equate the commitment to their craft to the commitment to their employer. They should separate the two, right? But I also, I dream of a time when we as black professionals would go back to our townships and
go help, essentially.
Not help, but in a particular way, like own the schools, adopt a school.
It's something you've done.
Yeah. Adopt a school. It can be that way, or if you take your child in the school nearby. I've tried to sell this idea to some of our student activists at UCT who are bright, some of which are getting PhDs, whatever. And one of them said, "Prof, it's a brilliant idea on paper, but I don't want to go back to
where
Khayelitsha."
I come from,
He says, "I'm not going back to Khayelitsha. Once I get this PhD, I'm out." Because, and I say why, and he said, because they will kill me.
Jeez.
I will be there to want to do good, but I won't last. So, and then I say, but what if we have a critical mass of us
that do that at the same time?
At the same time.
If we all jumped at the same time, the planet will shift.
Yeah. So that's one option. The other option is to say, this is a critical situation. some of us have to go first. There'll be casualties.
Let's just do it.
But the needle will shift.
Yeah.
But that's a brave step. Like not everyone will take that. But the other option is critical mass. Can we go in en masse? And I say to them, if you and I, David, our children went to the school nearby, that school will gradually change. Because first of all, you and I will check the homework.
Of course.
Secondly, we will not like it that the school is dirty.
Yeah.
Secondly, I will start talking to the principal.
A lot more often.
We've never called us to meetings. What's going on?
Yeah.
When we go there, I'll see, this classroom needs tiles. When it's cold, the children must be getting cold. You start buying tiles, carpet, whatever, and then you realize, these teachers are overstretched. You sponsor one teacher to pay their salary, whatever, the two of us do that. Gradually, frankly speaking, most of when people get attention, the more they get attention, they will improve, I think.
No, of
course. They will
eyes are on them.
The eyes are on them.
Yeah.
But it's not only eyes to criticize, it's also eyes to support.
Do you find that maybe we're too quick to expect government? Because I'm listening you to speak of this utopian environment, where we are. I'm
not mentioning government.
No, and I say this very carefully because I'm aware that with South Africans, the word government is very, very close to our lips. So we say it so easily and so quickly.
Yeah.
Because we were promised milk and banana. We were promised milk and honey, and very little has come through. So that's why we say government must get involved. I'm listening to describe this environment where I'm making a contribution to the school. And immediately a thought that crosses my mind, which I'm sure will cross the minds of a lot of people who watch this, will be, the government should do that.
Yeah.
The tiles is government. I already pay tax. And you see this. And that's really where, do you find that we are disabled by our view of what government should be doing?
I think so. I think we are disabled by that. But I also think we are exonerating ourselves. We live in the most unequal society. This is the most unequal country in the world.
Yeah.
So those of us who can, we should know that we are a small percentage of people who do, and I think we have a responsibility.
Much is expected of us.
Much is expected of us. I'm not saying government should not do their job. They should. But there are certain things that government is not going to do.
Yeah.
And we can do that. And if we are going to wait on government, we will have a lot of wrong going on. So a lot of students will go through this bad system whilst we are waiting on government. So whilst there's a pressure on government, we should do something. But I actually think even when government is doing something, you still have to
lend a hand.
We
Look
still
at people who make donations to your school.
Yes.
They don't have to.
They don't have to. But by the way, I give 20% of my salary to UCT.
Wow.
20 bloody percent.
Can you give 16? I could say 4. I'm joking.
but I don't have to.
Yes.
But the reason I give to that is because people say, well, but government should fund the postgraduate students. The 10% is for black women postgraduate students who are from South Africa.
That's it.
Because they don't get funding anywhere. There aren't many scholarships that makes them the priority. And I'm saying for this scholarship, they are the priority. Because I know that many of them will not make the decision to do that if there's no funding. But someone says, but government is going to benefit. Why don't they do this? Other countries do that. In Scandinavia, government will do that. Of course.
Government will fund. Free education is part of the story we tell now.
But we don't have a government that does that. Government funds undergrad.
It's quite...
It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. Every year there's a few students, one has to bail out.
Yeah.
It's not enough. So you and people say, but we must push and we must push.
Yeah.
We do that not long ago. It's not long ago that government started funding early childhood education. ECD was not funded by government.
Recent as a few years ago. Yeah.
And people don't see that. So people just see university students because university students can protest. Parents who can afford taking their children to crash can't protest.
No.
who can't,
And also they are not as organized.
They are not as organized,
because,
yes.
The system doesn't allow them.
The system doesn't allow them. So if we want all the money to go to university education and to fund students, by the way, there are many poor students, but they are the poorest of the poor, don't even manage to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
there's another level.
Yeah, there's another level. Yeah. So I agree. We've got to hold government accountable. I want them to fund ECD fully. Make sure that children. That's the most important level of their development. So that when they go in, I also want us, those of us who are funded by government in NSFAS, I want us to have a sense of urgency, David.
And also
this is not popular talk. This is not popular talk.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to say this as Vice Chancellor, but I'm going to say it. You get government funding, NSFAS. Make the most of it. Get the damn degree.
Quickly.
As quickly as you can. I know it is tough.
True.
But if you take longer, remember, as an activist, remember that you are taking 1 year from the child of a gardener and a domestic worker and an unemployed factory worker, whatever, who wants to come into the space. The longer we're taking the space.
Because there's no unlimited money. It's not a bottomless pit.
Exactly. There isn't a bottom. And we can say, well, there's money that's wasted, Guptas, whatever.
It's not budgeted for this anyway.
That song is well sung, but it's not going to solve this problem.
That's it.
In the meantime, if you think you can spend 7 years in a 3-year degree and the other children can't go in, we've got to know that they will still not go in, even if we make noise about the money that's wasted in government.
That's it, yeah.
We do have to make that noise, but all of us have to have a sense of urgency to make the space. And it's us black people, because the poorest of the poor is mainly black people.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's Spanish.
It is.
It's a lot of work, this.
It is. But and I see it as a responsibility, though, for us who, I don't know. I hope everyone who earns a salary gives something, man. Seriously. How do you guys sleep, though? Not giving anything.
Let me say this. Life in South Africa is very tough and expensive. It's one of the most expensive countries to live in. And I say this from my perspective.
Yeah.
4,000-5,000 rands doesn't go very far anymore. We live in some of the most expensive places, paying rent. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, for the average South African.
I understand.
And I hear your point of saying 100 rand that will make a difference in Unisa or in VETS or whatever school, or even your high school next to you.
It will.
Yes, and I fully understand that. But I'm saying, and it always comes back to this. I'm a government. It always will. Because we are that kind of, our socialization is such that we feel government is not doing the right thing. Today it was released, this state of, what is it? The report.
Yesterday, yes.
And when you look at the amount of money that's spoken of there, it's heartbreaking. And you said it, the song has been sung. But this guy who got 50 million.
I know. But we worry about the 50 million. We don't worry about the guy who's stealing 10,000. That guy who's stealing 50 million started with petty cash.
That's true.
And for me, I mean, even when I see families that submit fraudulent documents for their children to get NSFAS, they claim to be poor. They were found out, they were boasting on social media. They were competing about their labels, their whatever. And one said, but you are on NSFAS, you are busy telling us your mother this or that. Yes, and that's how
they got exposed.
They got exposed. And then suddenly the people who are on NSFAS, they started outing each other. An investigation was done, they were found out, right? Because they
of course.
So you are saying we are living in an expensive, one of the most expensive, it's not the most expensive, maybe one of the most expensive. But we actually, the festive season is a good time to see how we
behave.
I don't even want to say behave, how we spend our money.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I just open Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook and see in a rural, the alcohol expensive.
I know.
Okay? The clothes, the what, the nails, the what, the hair, the what.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I don't even do that.
And you can afford it.
I can afford
very simply,
it. I'm making a decision
not to.
Not to. Why? Because I've got a few more children whose school fees I have to pay for.
Yeah.
One thing I haven't told you, that I only gave birth to one child.
Oh, and the
I was only pregnant once in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
When you speak of the sons,
they are adopted.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't have to, right?
Yes.
But I do. And those are people who are under my care. You pay school fees, you pay varsity fees, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't have parents or relatives or whatever. And then there are others who ask whatever.
There always will be.
So it's not. So the fact that my nails look shabby doesn't mean.
Yes, it's a decision that you're making.
It's a decision, right? It's a decision. And you can say stupid, whatever. And I'm saying, I won't be able to sleep well. It's not, by the way, this is not something I'm doing because I'm VC.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I've always done that. You can ask students who I worked with at VETS, Unisa, UCT. That's just what it is, right? So it's an expensive country, but people are living pseudo lives, expensive lives that they don't afford.
Yeah, that is a fact.
And unfortunately, you can't even talk about it because when you talk about it, people say you are saying so poor people must parade their poverty.
There's a quote from a political leader who said, "So who must wear these clothes?"
You know, it's crazy.
Who must wear them? Must they be worn by other people, by white people?
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. I mean, so I just think we can fault government and whatever, and they are not. Government needs to answer.
Yeah.
But I think we also need to inculcate particular kinds of values in our society, in the black community.
Very quickly, I'll ask, these are tiny questions.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to these different people? Very quickly, to mothers.
Wow. Live by example. Live by example. You can't expect your children to do something that you can't do, or that you and if you fail, own up.
I want to ask, and following from your answer, to fathers, I'm assuming the answer might be different.
Be a better man. Be a damn better man. We need better men.
Yes,
we need better men.
And again,
be a good man.
If you finish it, you'd say be a better man that lives by example.
That lives by example.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, they must first get a script for a good man.
Yes.
Being a better man, what does it look like?
Yes.
Live up to it, and so your children can follow.
There's something that matters, because I'm a middle child as well, older sister, younger sister. And I realized that the brother-sister relationship is such an important one, and it literally lasts forever. You speak so well about your setup.
Yeah.
Advice to sisters and brothers who have those that are coming behind them.
You sibling rivalry will always be there, but you must always remember that that's your greatest supporter.
Yeah.
I mean, every year on my sister's birthday, I apologize for the Varam claps that I gave her when we were young.
You still apologize now.
I still regret, man. I didn't get it. But that's just what it is.
It was that way.
Yeah, you are going to give each other Varam claps when you are young, because especially when you are poor, fighting for the one apple that's remaining. You know.
I cut into half.
But that's like the person who will have your back.
And they remain that forever. You don't realize it until when you're older.
I can't imagine my life without my sister.
Wow.
You know, when I make decisions about career, whatever, I also check what she does. It's almost like we're twins, you know, because it's like I always have to be able to cover for my sister.
Yeah.
My children are taught this.
Yes.
This is your mother.
Yes, your second mother. Yes.
Second mother. You know, so siblings are hugely important. Siblings are hugely important. I mean, the one thing I forgot to say about parenting, by the way, you said mother and then father. But parenting, the one thing
as a unit
is that about raising children is the, you know, when children are young, you always. Everyone boasts about their children being the smart one, like my dad, and you wish your child can be the one who gets the distinctions and whatever. You know, now that my children have grown up, you know, the biggest win is the kind of human beings that they are.
Yeah, very key.
Good human beings. They've got degrees, they'll be fine. You know, the one who's struggling with the degree will get there.
Eventually.
Yeah. He's taking the scenic route. No bastard is bloody wasting my money.
If it by the sea, what is it?
The garden route.
The garden route. He'll get there.
But he'll get there. But I'm not, that doesn't bother me as much as the kind of human being that they're becoming. I think, and this is the thing that I say, we don't focus much on values. And so we raise children, you know, who become something else.
Yeah.
You know, you see even on social media, there's a young person who I mentor who's got a child now. They are male, and I said to him, you know, you see how much you're taking the pictures of your child at McDonald's and this eating pictures
things.
at the sea.
Like a toy.
I said, I hope you are saving money for her to go to university.
Because those pictures matter just as much when they graduate and so forth.
I said to him, very soon, she'll be finishing matric, she'll want to go to university. I hope you are not thinking that NSFAS or somebody will cover them because they got distinctions or whatever. People don't think about, and she said, oh, Prof, oh, thank you, Prof. Thank you, I said, you take policies whilst your woman is pregnant.
Yes.
You start investing unit trust. It doesn't matter how much, 50 rand per month.
It'll go a long way.
Yes, when things get better, add on. Just keep going so that when your child finishes and they go to university, even if you don't have everything, say, here is 100,000. I started it whenever. It's not enough, but
it's better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Advice to South African president.
Wow. Tell us more, man. I think. Look, by the way, I think Cyril is a good president.
Yeah.
I think we won't appreciate until he's gone. Am I saying he's the only one who can do a good job? No,
of course not.
There'll be a lot of people who can do a good job, but I feel like I don't know the game plan.
I wish I
knew
where we were going.
Where we were going. You know, Parliament has gone up in smoke.
There's a guy from Phakeng who's blamed for it. It's a story for another time.
Yes, and then the report came out sort of almost a few days later. It's great. I want to know more. Give me hope. Give me hope for the future. I feel like the nation is left without
to figure itself out.
And I'm saying this as a vice chancellor whose university went up in flames.
True, very recently.
April the 18th.
Yes.
And you know, before a week ends, I called a staff assembly. To address the university, to give them hope. You know, to make sense of this. Of course, I did a video immediately a day after the fire to talk to them on video, whatever. But the speech that I gave about, after the fire at the assembly was much more critical.
You know, so you reassure.
So that people, that people feel there's someone has got us, man. This thing is in control. We are in someone's hands. Who's taking us somewhere, and we want to go there.
And we know where we're going.
Yes. We might not have the detail of the corners, but the person is making sense of this. You know, and it's pressure, and it's not easy to make sense of this. And I'm just saying vice chancellor, but you know, it's not a lot of people. The country is big, and there's so much contestation. But
I wouldn't be president.
Yes, it's and look, if there's any president who's working hard for the job, it's this one.
It's this one.
I think all the others had tough jobs, not like this.
Yeah, he's dealing with COVID and everything else.
Everything.
I don't know where your politics lie, but we have a ruling party in the country, nationally. Advice. I know I'm giving you trick questions. By the way, you're getting the toughest questions of all of them. You've watched a lot of my podcasts. It's never been this bad.
No. Wow. It's man. Things are bad, man.
Very bad.
Yeah. I wish I could easily just say, get your house in order.
And
things
went away and did
it. Depending on history is not good enough.
Yeah.
History is not good enough. And I wish, in 94, I always say I wish that the ruling party could have made a different call or promise. When the ruling party came to power, they announced a better life for all. RDP, whatever, which is
jobs. I remember that post.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, if I were in that position at that time, I would have said, South Africa, now we have a country. Those of you who didn't own a country, now you own one. We are going to work it.
The work begins now.
The work begins now.
Yeah.
What is it going to take, the work? And then I would say, education. There's.
The Chinese pulled it off.
And maybe the thing to do at that time is not to announce the RDPs, whatever, is to say, we've got to build the houses you would build, right?
Yes.
But you say all the children who are starting school from 95, it will be free from then.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to roll out free education. You start it from there. Everyone else keeps,
okay.
You start it from there. You keep.
So the generation that will be paying
and
now.
then whilst you're doing this, you build houses without making promises. You don't have to announce, man. I don't know why we have to announce everything.
Why so really Dubai. He's at Dubai. And it's just forever waiting
for Dubai.
And that's the problem.
No,
it's
man.
at the beginning of the relationship.
Let me tell you, as the woman, the beauty is in the surprise. With the ticket to Dubai.
I guess. Horari.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wish we had done something like that.
Yeah.
But more than any, because at that time the ruling party had the credibility, the muscle. All our ears were
Mandela.
there. Yeah. To say we are going back to work.
Yeah.
Time for protest. It's over. We are going to show these people we can build this country.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. You do that. And then you say, top performing will take you. You start building capacity. Will take you to other countries
to learn,
so that more people can come with the skills that we need. The skills that we don't have. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like at the moment there's an attempt we've got to. I guess it's a human thing that humans are not always good at saying I missed a step. Humans are always good at defending themselves. Yeah. And the thing about saying I do it often, that I missed a step, you know?
You do, yes.
But I'm human. Come on, people must get on with it.
I will make a mistake.
I will, and I am going to make more, you know? Yeah. There's a good reason I'm not God, right? So I wish the ruling party could do that we missed a step here and there. Now let's get on. Let's do something. But of course, I'm saying this from I don't know what was going. Yeah. I'm sure there were politics in there.
It's easy to speak from the stands.
It's easy to speak from the stands.
Yeah. To Black South Africans, very quick, short advice. It's a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Yeah. Nobody's going to save us.
Yeah.
Not government, not white people, nobody's going to save us. Only we can save ourselves. Complaining is easy. We can write a big book about how we've been oppressed. It's a very good book. But it's not going to save us. We have to start writing a book about a story of our victory.
That's it.
Our end has got to be victorious.
Yeah.
So let's get on with it. Let's start now. And it starts with every parent. It starts with every parent. It starts with every adult. It starts with every teenager. Make the right decisions. Alcohol is not going to make you the cooler.
No.
Looking flesh is not going to make you the cooler. So please, let's make the right decision. Nobody's going to save us. There's nobody to save us.
No one is. We're not going to wake up in the morning and it's done.
Yeah. Let's stop the populist stuff and do the real thing and save ourselves.
How's your Spitori? Is it still on point?
Spitori sa ka se sharp.
Sale des. I have to check. We can understand my little math.
Spitori a se.
Even your tone changes. Even your tone changes. I like that. Spitori does change the way your language changes. Your voice changes as well. It's such an interesting one. I wrote here. We take a bit from different people.
Yeah.
I know with my radio career, I took a bit from different people to make the person that I've become.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly what this is, but it seems like it's something.
Yeah.
What little bit have you taken from different people you've met over time, and as few as you can mention?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I think resilience, I definitely take it from my mother.
Yeah.
And then there are people, there are people in the public space who keep coming back.
Yeah.
Who make? I'm sure the country will be laughing at me about this. I mean, it's interesting. Kelly Khumalo is an interesting character.
Really?
No. I mean, I find it interesting the people who, some people you think it's the end, and then. And then, it's like they're fighting, So there are.
You mentioned interesting when you walked in. You mentioned Kelly Khumalo. Yes, we were talking about
about the Telkom
show,
yes.
And you made reference.
Frankly speaking, I don't even follow her music. I don't even know one song that she sings.
Yeah, but
find. But I read the news about her. But I find the fact that she keeps going. Look, I think she can make different decisions sometimes. But the fact that she keeps bouncing back, using the thing that she has as her gold, her voice.
Yeah.
She keeps coming back and she goes.
So that's one other thing that you seem to be drawing something from that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's admirable, and we have a tendency of especially educated people like whatever. Musician, whatever. I don't know his music, but her music, but I quite admire that.
Is there anybody else?
I think Winnie does it for me. Winnie was an interesting character.
Yeah. Fire.
Winnie kept her guns.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened,
she
never looked back, went back. She stood by her guns. She became
and even lived in Soweto literally to the day she died.
Yeah. She and it's not to say every decision she makes is right, but it's like someone who stick by. Yeah. So I it's the decision for me, despite all the challenges one face. People keep saying, how do you do this job? And I say, I'm here to lead UCT, to build sustainable success for UCT.
That's it.
It doesn't matter what happens.
There will be. Stuff will happen. Yeah.
And I will make bad decisions. I'll make good decisions. There will be whatever. But, so you see, you've got to be focused on something. And Winnie was focused on something. Whether we agree with her or not is immaterial.
Yeah.
There was a focus. And then Julius's fearlessness. Julius is interesting, right? You can say anything.
I love that too. I wish I had I wish I had 10% of Julius's fearlessness.
Julius is fearless. I mean, it's admirable.
Yeah.
You whether I agree with him or not, it's irrelevant. If he changes his mind tomorrow, he'll change his mind tomorrow. He doesn't care what you will say. He's fearless, and he will tell you what he thinks.
Wow. Man, I love this. Do you know one of my favorite people in the world are academics? People who commit their lives to understanding humans and how the world works.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's all it is.
Is that your master's? What master's are you doing?
No. I've completed a master's in business. I wrote about government communication. I've been toying with the idea of a PhD. No pressure. I'm just toying with it. It's just an idea for now. Every single day, believe it or not, I ask myself if the research I want to do is the right one, and next week I'll change it. The next week I'll change it, which is probably why I haven't got into it.
PhD is not a bad idea. Just saying.
I'll get around to it eventually. Because I think there are people who commit their lives to understanding this blue ball that we find ourselves in.
Oh, yes.
So that's really what it is.
Yes.
You know, whether you understand the deep sea or the sky or the universe or mathematics, so you understand how the crops are grown or how humans behave to each other, to themselves. It's such a fascinating space. And that's why when the idea of inviting you here came across my mind, it became the most obvious idea. Because my most pleasant conversations on radio are with academics. Whenever I have professors, I absolutely enjoy it. And that's why it was such an easy decision to say, I will bring you here. Not only will we talk about your life, but we'll talk about South Africa.
Okay.
Because you are such a true South African who seem to be enjoying their lives. And I'll put it very simply.
You have to.
Yes, you know.
It's only one. There's no second time.
You won't get this again.
Second take.
Yeah, you won't get this again. And this youngness about you, we spoke about it earlier. What is it?
You know, I hear it from you. I'm just being me, man.
There's this youthfulness about you that's so consistent.
I'm just being me, you know. I'm just being it. I figured that it's much better to be me.
Yeah.
If you try to be someone else, you always have to remember what is that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and you know, you only live once. I'm 55 now.
Yeah.
And I will never be 55 again.
You look 34.
Thank you. I thought you would say 29. Well, never did. but the bottom line is I'll never be 55 again.
Yeah.
It will, you know, I'll keep growing. And I don't want to look back in at my life and let's just say the 5 years as Vice Chancellor. I say, oh, damn, I could have done this. I could have done this. I didn't do this because, you know, I was scared to climb the tree because people were looking. Yeah. Whatever. You know, I don't want to do that. I mean, you know, it's my life is much more pleasant this way. Yeah. And of course, I do like young people. That's another thing. I mean, I do like young people. Young people, the exuberance of youth it just gives me energy and life.
It's infectious.
It's infectious.
I wrote a note in my notepad. I said, every time I hear my piano song, I want to get involved. I don't know what, because my body can move along with it, but I want to get involved. I just want to do something.
David, your body can't do it. I've been learning.
I can't do this thing.
Come on. I've been learning. I mean, it's a pity my boys are laughing at me when I try. I think you see, for me, it's this. When I look at my piano dances, everything I look at my body, my inside tells me I can do it.
Yeah, so that means you can.
Well, not everything, because I used to be a dancer. I was a competitive dancer.
Wow, listen to that.
But so I look at stuff and I'm like, I can do it. But it's with everything. It's with jumping. It's with whatever. I say I can do this. I can do this. And then I try, and then my body reminds me, you're 55.
You can't.
You can't. Yes. You've got to practice a little more. You know.
Do you know Zekete? Do you know what it is?
No.
I knew there would be things. With all this youthful energy, there are things you don't. Obviously, you know Danko, right?
Danko, I know.
Danko means thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Because that's how they say it. It's like Danko means thank you.
Danko means thank you. But I heard it on Motsweding as well. There's someone who uses a lot
Danko
of
all the time.
Yes.
So there you go. So Zekete is a dance. I don't know what it is. It's a piano dance. I think they go like this.
Oh, no, but I know that one.
Now you know what it's called?
Yes, okay. I didn't know what it's called. I call it the Amapiano dance.
I may be wrong.
And to be honest, I have on one Saturday gone, or you go on YouTube, you just look at Mapiano dance. There's people who are teaching you.
I know.
So I've taken a few lessons.
Really, on YouTube?
Well, because, you know, in 2020, I did the Jerusalem dance with the students who are on the MasterCard Foundation, whatever. Yeah. So 2021, I told with the idea of doing Mapiano dance with the, because the MasterCard Foundation students are sort of it's the leadership program, students from all over the continent, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I climb the mountain with them every year, and I thought maybe I can do the Mapiano dance with them because I killed them with the Jerusalem dance.
Wow.
I didn't know it. I learned it on the day and I got it before they did.
Listen to that.
So I thought, let me check this Mapiano dance. Maybe we can do this, And I realized it's not so easy.
It's not so easy. There's a lot of moving parts.
But it can also be aerobics. It can be an exercise routine.
Absolutely. But there's lots of moving parts.
Yes.
And you can't forget the mouth as part of the dance as well. You do things.
And then it has to go with the sound. When the music says, you got to go.
There you go. So that's why I say that too many moving parts for me to remember which part is moving when. Well, that's really the challenge that I'm facing. It's been such a pleasure.
Yeah.
You, in my world, you're literally one of our greatest rock stars.
Oh,
we are very lucky to call you one of us. We hope you never leave and have a home in Canada or something.
I do get calls. No. I do.
I can imagine.
I have to put it on record because people think you stay here because you have nowhere to go.
True.
I do get calls. I sometimes I even go to the point of being shortlisted.
Wow.
And then I withdraw.
What makes you withdraw? Besides what could be, in terms of what makes you stay?
I went into this job with a vision. I do want to see it to fruition.
True.
That's number one. Number two, when people find fault with you, and you go to another job, it's like you are saying they are right.
That's true.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
You don't want to lose this.
I'm not gonna give my detractors that joy of leaving.
It's that winning thing that's
it's
still
a winning
there.
thing.
Yeah,
I got to get the medal.
You have to get to the finish line.
Yeah, and then number three, I have thought carefully before I applied for the UCT job, and I think UCT is a very important institution in the continent. I'm not saying it's the only one.
True.
People should not catch feelings here, but it's a very important institution.
Yeah.
And I think it is in a very critical stage. The journey of transformation is not an easy journey.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do. I've committed myself to do this job very carefully to make sure that the wins of the institution are not destroyed, and things that need to be done are done, not in vengeance, in anger, but in commitment to build sustainable success. And I sit here. I mean, last year I wrote a chapter in a book about it was talking about women in leadership, and I entitled it "Walking the Tightrope." And it's the tightrope between the picket line and the boardroom. Okay. And I think I walk that picket line because in many ways I am part of the picket line. I walk that tightrope because I'm very much part of the picket line. I could even say I am the picket line. I grew up poor.
Absolutely.
I've been there. But at the same time, I am very much the boardroom. I've achieved.
You spend your time in that space.
But scholarly, I've achieved the highest level of scholarship.
Yeah.
And so I understand why certain things need to be done that the picket line might not appreciate. I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't want us to be in a situation with someone who only comes with the perspective only of the picket line. Sounds populist and whatever, and then they destroy everything because they don't necessarily appreciate the boardroom. You need, at this point, someone who can understand both
sides.
And you need someone who can transact across different constituencies.
That's true.
Someone who can talk to the cleaner and the gardener as well as they can talk to the top professor.
Absolutely.
And I feel that I can do that. I don't get angry when
students... It's a skill, by the way. Not everybody is able to pull it off.
And I don't also get angry. I see people get angry when students get worked up and call me names. It's fine. I don't even want to remember their names because tomorrow I want to be able to hug them.
Yeah.
And kiss them and wish them well and for their... And not feel anger.
Yeah.
Of course, my children see them. And sometimes my boys say, that's the same guy who was doing this and this. And now you are taking a picture with him. And I go, of course.
Yeah.
That's why I'm Vice Chancellor. I'm here to educate.
True.
To grow. and to make people that which they were not.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was swearing at me yesterday is very irrelevant. The point is he's graduating today and he's a better person. That he's coming to me. I didn't go to him and ask him for a picture. He's seeking me out. He's begging me. You are telling me not to go. That means we are doing a good job.
Yeah.
So I'm staying here because I think I am relevant now.
Yeah.
People might not understand me. People might have criticism for me. But I know UCT needs me now. I don't think they needed me 20 years ago. I don't know if I'll be relevant 20 years from now. But now, and I don't think, I work with many people who are executives, not only in South Africa, but across the world. Yeah. And I know the uniqueness of my capability that I bring to this space. That is what's needed now. That brings the combination of humility, experience, whatever, everything all together. And yeah, so those are the three reasons I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But it is important for South Africans to know that this is a conscious choice. I am not here because I'm desperate.
That's why I want to say we are proud of Trevor Noah. We are proud of Charlize Theron. We are proud of Jonathan Butler and many others.
Yeah.
Hey, let's send our people to the world.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Let them go and spread who we are as a people.
And maybe I will go one day.
That's why I say don't feel
Not
like
now.
we're holding you down. We want you to become as great as you want to be. What do you still look forward to? They say there's a quote I read once that says true happiness is very tricky to achieve. However, it gets easier when there's always something forward you're looking at. Yeah. And you wake up to the aspiration of something. What do you still look forward to?
You know that I mean it sounds crazy, but I mean I look forward to being a grandmother. You know,
that's amazing.
My son got engaged last year, and I'm like, okay,
Tomaning.
Well, I mean, you know,
might as well.
That would be wonderful. I mean, I think in the past year I've been excited about my parenting that I haven't done too shabbily.
Wow!
And I'm looking forward to being
starting from zero now. Eh?
Yes, I look forward to being a granny one day.
Yeah.
And helping my daughters-in-law talking to them about.
I hope you're not going to be a difficult mother-in-law.
I'm going to be a cool mother-in-law.
Yes, eh?
Yeah, because I have my own life. I mean, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to be. No. No. But I'll be cool. But So I look forward to. Sort of in a way, I mean, I know it's not career-wise, but
no. And I was really,
yeah. That's what's exciting.
Because for me, careers are human creation.
Yes,
we created this thing that we carry with us. That you have to go work.
Yeah.
And we created this weird life. Of careers.
Yeah.
Real life.
Yeah.
Is exactly the answer you gave me.
No, I am. Definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be very exciting. Yeah, wow. I look forward to that. Yeah,
Like I said, you are a rock star in my world. We're very, very lucky to have you.
You're very kind.
No, you were kind to come here and hang out with me for 4 hours.
4 hours? Did we do 4 hours?
We spoke for 3 hours and we hung out for an hour before we did. I'm going to call you very loosely and say, Mamokgethi.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way to go.
That's the way to do it.
Yes.
Wow, man.
Those who know me call me Mamokgethi.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David.
Keep looking after our young ones at school and inspiring all of them everywhere, because what you do is quite inspiring. In a lot of ways, it makes young girls realize that they can achieve anything and everything and still be graceful, still be cool, still be stylish, and still have time to be academics.
You call this stylish.
Yo,
Thank you.
Thank you again. Wow.
Thanks, David.
Wow.
Thank you.
Everybody, we've been blessed today. Mamokgethi, everybody. Sharp.
Thank you. Bye-bye.